All right. Here we go. It is week one. Guys, we are back. This is the fantasy end game. We're here to help you win at fantasy football. I mean, that's pretty much our end game. I'm Pierre and he is Chris. We've already had one game in the books. That's that Thursday night matchup between Bills and Rams. Didn't quite live up to expectations in terms of being a close game, but there were some points put on the board, at least on one side. Chris, the Gabe Davis Truthers are doing victory laps already, and of course, so are the Cam Akers doubters, among which you are. What was your takeaway from that game?
To be honest, I didn't expect it to be a blowout. I thought the Rams would make it a little closer, but it kind of went the way I expected with the Rams coming off that Super Bowl win, the Bills motivated, expected the Bills to win. Didn't expect the Rams to look that bad. Obviously, Allen Robinson, that's one of the big question marks here, but yeah, overall win as expected, I think, apart from, the difference in the score.
Yeah, and of course, we always tell you we'll tell you a lot after this week. Don't overreact to week one because it's so tempting, especially after one game. But there are some takeaways we'll talk about later in the week, guys. We don't just do start sit. By the way, we're going to do waiver wire trades, panic videos, start sit. We do everything that might possibly help you win. So if you're interested, of course, you hit subscribe. Now, during this show, let me tell you a little something for those who are new. We do have a lot of new viewers, and we definitely appreciate it, and new subscribers. So we do this every Saturday, the day before, right, game day, and we're going to try to answer as many questions as we can. You have line-up questions. You want to know who to trust. We're going to do our best to give you our take. Now, if you do want your answer, as soon as possible, there are some ways to do that. The best way, though, is to join Patreon. We do have Patreon only exclusive show on Sunday morning. All right, so that is 2 hours before kickoff. That would be 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central. Chris, what is that Pacific time? I'm going to guess 8.
8 o'clock Pacific, yes.
Nice and early. Good thing you're an early riser. So, guys, 2 hours before kickoff for our patrons, we'll jump on and we'll answer all your questions, not just start sit, but also you might have questions about trades or anything like that. So you can join the Patreon. It's patreon.com/fantasyfootballendgame, and you'll see that link below. And of course, you get access to other things too. Weekly rankings, just updated those. We had draft rankings before, waiver wire updates, and a private channel in the Discord, which I'll talk about in a second. Now, if you're not a patron, then what you can do, if you want to get your question answered right here, right now, you don't want to wait, you don't have time Sunday morning, we get that. You can join us here every week, and you can use the super chat feature. That's basically like your fast pass that gets you to the front of the line. I'll be monitoring here on the side, and we'll see if you do have a question. The super chats will be answered. Guarantee it will be answered first. Okay, I mentioned Discord. Now, we have an active Discord channel server with multiple channels. We're active every day. We have so many knowledgeable members already, not just Chris and I. So if you want to join the Discord, we talk football 365 days a year. All right. And baseball as well. College football game day discussion. It's going to be live tomorrow. I guarantee that. So if you want to join the Discord, there's a link in the description below as well. You can click on that. And of course, if you like any of the things we do, if you're interested in seeing this content over and over again, hit subscribe. We do appreciate that. It helps us in order to be able to provide more content to the people who are subscribed. We just hit the 15K mark. Pretty proud of that, but that's just the beginning. We're going to keep on going. We're trying to make this the greatest fantasy football community in the world. That is our goal. All right, and of course, hit the like button. So, did I forget anything? Are we good to go for week one?
I think we're good. We're good to go.
All right, here we go. We want to answer all your questions, but let's talk about some injury updates. We always do this, and of course, Sunday morning we'll have the latest news, but let's talk right now. What do we know? A lot of people asking about J.K. Dobbins. I don't know why, but they are. Okay, so J.K. Dobbins is right now questionable, your very favorite designation of all, which means maybe he'll play, maybe he won't. Look, he didn't do a lot in practice. Lamar Jackson kind of gave us a hint a few days ago in a press conference, and he said that he's a couple weeks away. All right, so look, bottom line is Chris and I have exactly 0.0 shares of Dobbins this year in our teams, and I'm not exaggerating either. And so I wouldn't start him. I know Chris wouldn't start him. So, look, even if you did draft him, that's fine. Don't put him in your lineup. Do not do that. Kenneth Walker, same thing. I mean, he's not been ruled out, but there's no chance, I don't think, that he goes. Look, he just had that hernia surgery or whatever Pete Carroll wants to call it. Penny's going to have that backfield to himself, so you probably want to fire him up. But again, that's a tough matchup. I'm pretty sure they're going to be playing from behind, so it's just hard to say that he's going to get a huge workload because the running game just might not be a factor. But Kenneth Walker, man, you really should not be starting him if you do have him. Deontay Johnson looks like he practiced fully, so he should be good to go. I know there's some worries about the shoulder, but keep an eye on him. Alan Lazard has officially listed as doubtful. Do not start him. Who should you play instead as far as Packers receivers? I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a wide receiver. This is going to be the new thing this year, guys. Wide receiver by committee. Kansas City using it, Green Bay using it. So who knows? Maybe you want to trust Romeo Doubs. Jalen Waddle, full participant. He is going to play. You can fire Waddle up. Chris Godwin, he's been kind of practicing, but he's not really seeing any contact, of course, not playing in those preseason games. I don't know that you could feel good about him, even if he does play. And also Russell Gage. It looks like he was being questionable. I think he's still listed as questionable. It sounds like he is good to go, but you kind of have to worry because that's a soft tissue injury. I think it's a hamstring that's bothering him. So he could be in a good spot if Evans is, going to get a lot of attention, but there's some risk there. So the risk with Godwin, risk with Gage, that means risk with Brady in my mind. Speaking of risk, you may have drafted Michael Thomas, unlike me. Look, it sounds like he'll play, but really, how much is he going to play? And how much do you trust him? And how much will they need to pass against Atlanta? That's the other question. So the fact that it's not even his ankle, it's a hamstring strain. I mean, you know how I feel about MT. So let's move on to Drake London. He's also questionable. We haven't heard a lot about him. Man, a rookie receiver in his very first game, and he's already limited health-wise. I don't know how you can feel good about him. So personally, I wouldn't start him. He's also a guy I really don't have a lot of shares of either. Anyways, now George Kittle, here's the one you probably really have to be concerned about. You were counting on Kittle to be a top 5 tight end. Did not practice all week. It doesn't sound good. He's listed as questionable, right? Not doubtful, but it's really not sounding like he's going to be a full go. Even if he does play, might be a decoy. So you're probably going to need a backup tight end. You might need to pick up somebody already. I know that's why we don't always roll with tight ends in our leagues. And then we talk about Zach Ertz. He did finally practice Friday, but we're hearing that he might be on a pitch count or a snap count. And that's concerning, the fact that maybe he'll be out there, but may not get a ton of targets. So you might want to pivot, but of course, it depends who your other options are. Rondell Moore has also been ruled out already. Of course, DeAndre Hopkins is also not going to play. So if Ertz played, that's kind of a tricky situation. He should be a good play, but you really have to wonder how he's going to look. And then finally, Robert Tonyan, if you need a tight end to pivot to, he's not even on the injury report. That's more of a desperation play. But look, if you drafted Kittle and Ertz and they're not good to go, it's desperation time in week 1. So that might be a guy who does get a lot of targets, since we're talking about guys like Alan Lazard not playing in Green Bay. So that's the injury roundup. Man, it's not even the first game of the season for a lot of these teams, and we already have a lot of injuries. That's just not right, but that's how fantasy football goes. All right. Are we ready, Chris? I know the questions are already backing up. Guys, we're going to do the best we can. We're going to show you, your questions so everyone can benefit from this. If you have questions about similar players, we might not throw those all up there, right? Sometimes we'll get the exact same question or very close about a guy. So if you are curious about a certain player, check out what we're talking about. But let's go ahead and start. And we do have a super chat already. So let's do that first. Oh, wait a minute. Let's put our guy Stinger up here. Shout out to Stinger, longtime member of the Endgame. All right. He can't decide between Matt Ryan versus Houston or Trey Lance for Chicago. Interesting. What do you think about that?
I mean, I go Trey Lance easy. I know there's some worries about the weather, but come on, Chicago's defense is terrible. I know Houston's defense is terrible too, but Trey Lance with that rushing upside. I do like Matt Ryan, but I'll just take the upside of Trey Lance and his rushing in this matchup.
We don't really know what to expect from Trey Lance exactly because, Shanahan just doesn't want to give him a chance, and now he has to. Well, look, against Chicago, that's going to be one of the worst defenses in the league. And the thing with Matt Ryan, I think he's going to have a really good season. That's a great matchup too. But how much are they really going to need to pass the ball? That's my thing. I think Lance is the guy that you can trust. And look, if Kittle doesn't play, that really doesn't hurt Lance. It just might mean that he takes off on the ground a little bit more himself. So yeah, I think I shoot for the upside with Trey Lance too. I agree with that. But thank you, Stinger. Always appreciate it. We got one more here. Drew, thank you. Just started Gabe Davis. Congratulations. Metcalf, McLaurin, Renfro, and Godwin, and Kareem Hunt. Okay. So he needs one wide receiver and one flex. All right. So let's start with a receiver.
I think out of those guys, not really any of my favorites. I think I go McLaurin, though. Great matchup this week against Jacksonville. I think you got to start him.
Yeah, I think McLaurin for sure. It wouldn't be Metcalf, sadly. And we already talked about Godwin. Look, I don't think you can trust Godwin this week. So for me, it's definitely McLaurin. Now, what about the flex? I think it's between Renfro and Hunt for me.
The thing with Renfro for me, especially now they just gave Darren Waller that huge contract and we know he's going to be out there week 1. Renfro will probably get you like a nice safe 10 points, but Kareem Hunt can get you a nice safe 10 points too, but he also has the ceiling to get you 16 plus. So for me, I'm going to go Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, I think this Cleveland offense, we're going to see them lean on the running backs a lot, right? Because it's Jacoby Brissett at quarterback, and Carolina's a team I think they can afford to run the ball against. Renfro, it's between Renfro and Hunt for me. I don't know. I think I lean Renfro a little bit, just because even though Devontae Adams there, I think Adams has a huge game. I feel like Renfro still has a really solid target share. I like Hunt better in matchups where I know they're going to have to pass more. I don't think that's necessarily this game. So I think you go either way. I would slightly lean Renfro though. All right. I think we have yet another super chat. Let's get to that one. Oh, we have one just doing a show contribution. Markel, I don't see a question attached to that, so I'm just going to say thank you. We definitely appreciate it.
Thank you.
Our boy Danny G. Hey, yo. All right. Ayuk in this weather. Do I throw Gage in there or pick up week 1 Sammy?
I go Gage. I like Gage a lot this week. It sounds like he's fine coming off that soft tissue now. Talked about Godwin. I don't think Godwin's even going to suit up. And if he does, I don't think he's really going to play. Sammy Watkins, we all know Sammy Watkins week 1, he goes off, but you also run the risk that Sammy Watkins does nothing. So I go Gage.
If the question's ever Sammy Watkins, the answer is the other guy. Like, for real, there's not even a question here. I'm sorry. Like, I think Randall Cobb I'd play over Sammy Watkins. Or Dobbs. Like, isn't that his boy? Dobbs, isn't that Danny's?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
What's up?
So why don't you have Dobbs in your lineup? That's my answer. Gage, I know it's a little risky there, but I think if he plays, then you play him. All right, and then we got John Taylor.
Ooh. Jonathan Taylor or John Taylor?
Maybe John Taylor, the former 49er. Maybe the...
Oh, that's right. Yes.
How you feel about St. Brown versus Eagles, A.J. Brown versus Detroit? I hope that's not an either-or, because if it's an either-or question, it's easily Brown, but just general thoughts on those guys.
Not good about St. Brown. Feel great about A.J. Brown. We talked about it. I know a lot of you saw it because you let us know about it, but that Eagles secondary and that whole Eagles defense is so good. Going to be so good this year. And, yeah, St. Brown will get some catches and he'll get some targets, but I just think that's going to be a game where the Lions have real trouble doing anything. So don't feel great about him this week. There will be weeks where we like him, but not this week. I love A.J. Brown this week against Detroit, though.
Yeah, look, we're not haters of Amon-Ra St. Brown, despite what some people in the Discord are saying. Just down on him relative to where he was drafted. But look, A.J. Brown, I said this in the Booms video. Guys, if you haven't checked out the Booms video, I think they're going to showcase him. They're going to go to him a lot this game against Detroit. He'll have a field day. I love A.J. Brown this week, of course. It's hard not to against Detroit, but St. Brown, I'm down on this week. I can't start him unless I really don't have any better options. So just generally speaking, St. Brown is like a very risky low-end wide receiver 3. That's how I would put him. And then Markel did have a question that came up later: Jacobs or Elijah Moore? If it's full PPR, it's
Definitely
easy, right?
Elijah. Definitely Elijah Moore. Definitely Elijah. There's way more ceiling.
I mean, if it was standard, maybe Jacobs, but even then, I think I still go to Elijah Moore.
Elijah Moore. Yeah.
Do you remember the stat as far as Elijah Moore with Joe Flacco at quarterback last year? I think I mentioned Elijah Moore in the Booms video too. Was that the one I mentioned him?
Yeah.
Okay, so he had a monster game with Joe Flacco at quarterback. Now, it doesn't mean he'll have a monster game this week, but he's the guy there. Garrett Wilson, we haven't really heard him like popping off, right, this preseason. I think Elijah Moore is a solid start, honestly. So you definitely like Elijah Moore. All right, they keep coming in, guys. We definitely appreciate it. Gavin Frazier, flex option in standard PPR. I guess
I think this means like a 1 point PPR, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I guess like a normal PPR league. Okay. Yeah. Bateman, Damian Harris, or Michael Carter?
I mean, Bateman, easy for me all day. I'm so high on. In one league, actually in 2 leagues. Well, one league I think I started both of them, but in one league I have Bateman and Allen Robinson, and it's only a 2 wide receiver league, and I started Allen Robinson, and I'm just kicking myself, of course. Very high on Bateman this week, definitely Bateman.
Which, by the way, I'll just throw this out there now. We'll talk about this more later, but don't give up on Allen Robinson. Don't trade. If anything, you should be buying low on Allen Robinson. But look, Bateman against the Jets, yes, all day, every day. He's the number 1 receiver. He will get targeted a ton. Love Bateman this year, but you have to love this matchup. Definitely Bateman. Easily Bateman. And then huge shout out. Thank you, Shane Arnold. Appreciate that. Yeah. Love the content. Okay, Dynasty, the best kind of questions. 8-team Dynasty, half PPR. All right, so here's his lineup. All you Dynasty owners out there might be interested here. Need help at wide receiver. Start 4. Lockett, Cooks, Mooney, Tony, Skymore, Tolbert, Palmer, Dotson. Got a lot of good rookies there. Chris, you say generally you don't trust a rookie wide receiver in their first game. Do you trust any of those guys?
That's Dotson. Remember, Dotson was the one guy I do trust because I do think Washington likes what he does and they have a role for him. But when I look at these guys, the 2 that stand out to me is like you have to start them are Cooks and Mooney.
Yep.
Like those are the 2. And then I think for me it probably would be Dotson next and then probably Palmer be my number 4. I just Lockett. I'm just so worried about Kadarius Toney. We're not hearing good things about him again. And Giants, no thank you. I know they do have a good matchup against Tennessee. Sky Moore and Tolbert, I think they're going to be better second half than first half. So those are the 4 I would go with.
Yeah, I'll just say right now, Sky Moore, he'll be fine eventually, but I'm not starting him week 1. And then Tolbert, we're not hearing good things. I think he's questionable too. Is he banged up? I don't know if he's officially questionable, but he's banged up a little bit. Okay, Mooney and Cooks, no doubt. You start Cooks and Mooney. Tony, I want to see him do something before I put him in my lineup. Let's just put it that way. Like he should be a great start this week, but yeah, I wouldn't trust him. So I probably would go Dotson and Lockett. I do like Palmer in general this year. I know I've talked a lot about him. But in week 1, I do still like Lockett's target share. Like I know Lockett will get targeted at least. He has a chance to do something, and they're going to have to pass a lot. So just for this week, I think I'd go Lockett over Palmer, but it's close.
Yeah, it's cool. I don't feel like Cooks and Mooney are the only 2 I feel really good about, and I feel pretty good about Dotson. And the other ones is kind of like, yeah, hopefully you're right. All right, we have any more super chats?
Think we're good on the super chats so far, guys. Just so you know, we will get to those right away as we were trying to. We already have about 10,000 questions, so we're going to try to get down the list. Chris, what we got first?
All right, let's go. Terry McLaurin or Cortland Sutton at the flex. Pass the ammo.
It's tough because we just said we like McLaurin, but Sutton. I mean, Chris, I know this is one of your smash picks, so I got to go Sutton.
Yeah. I got to go Sutton. He's catching passes from Russell Wilson in a great match. Come on, Seattle's secondary. Like, please name 2 guys on their secondary right now. Like, come on, he's gonna smash Russell Wilson revenge. I like Terry McLaurin too, but Sutton through the roof this week. All right, and then Atlas from the Discord. What's up, Atlas? I think he's Viking like 18 in there. Hey, Chris Pierre for Flex. Chase Edmonds, AJ Dillon, or Elijah Moore, full PPR.
I'll say not my boy Edmonds. Not, the ideal matchup for him. I kind of want to see how he's used too, honestly. I want to see how many just carries he gets, when Mostert's technically healthy. This is tough for me. I agree with Chris's boom pick of Dillon, right? We both really like Dillon this week, but man, Elijah Moore, I like him too much. I'd go Elijah Moore.
I think in full PPR, I'm going to give Elijah Moore the slight edge over Dillon. I do really like Dillon too, though. And I do like Evans, not as high as those guys, though.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 2 bros, 1 journey. What do you think about Penny in week 1? I have Zeke, but I feel like Penny has boom potential. I agree. Zeke has no boom. I mean, Zeke needs 2 touchdowns. Zeke needs 2. Okay, it's like people forgot that last year we had the same game. First of all, you can't run on Tampa Bay. Teams don't even try to run it. 366 attempts against last year, which was by far the fewest any defense faced because you cannot run on Tampa Bay. They didn't even try to run on Tampa Bay last year. He had 39 total yards. That's it. That's all Zeke had last year. Penny in a tough matchup too, but he's going to get the bulk of the work. He doesn't have a Tony Pollard there taking receptions from him. I go Penny.
Yeah, that's the thing. Tampa Bay, the run defense there is just so good. And
Dallas threw the ball 50-something times last year. They're not even going to try to run the ball. Like, forget the name Ezekiel Elliott. Let it go.
I'm not completely out on Zeke this year, but this week, yeah, the upside is too limited. Penny, we know he can rip off a big run or two, and that's all you need. So, yeah, Zeke, he'll have to score.
Yeah. All right. Andres Hernandez with Darius Leonard out. Do you think it's safer to play Dameon Pierce?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, he's one of the best linebackers in the league, but that's not necessarily what alone dictates the run defense. Got to think about the offensive line of the Texans, which is not the worst in the league, but this is why I'm not all in on Pierce this year, just because the offense he's in. If I felt really good about his pass catching floor, I would say you can roll him out regardless of matchup. I just don't know yet. So when you say safer, though, safer than who, right? Yeah. Like, it depends.
I mean, it helps. Yeah, it helps him slightly, but this isn't like a make or break thing for me. If I felt good about Pierce versus my other running backs, this might make me feel a little better, but it's not going to be like, I'm not going to put him in over somebody else just because of this.
Right.
So, yeah. And then just say hi real quick. What's up, Bus? Big supporter of the channel. And then another big supporter of the channel, Dollar Bill. What is up? All right, DK, Ayuk, MVS, or Hunt at the flex, full PPR.
All right, let's just pretend MVS is not on there. Come on. I mean, we're not starting MVS, are we? I like Ayuk, right, this week. Especially, look, if Kittle doesn't play at all, you've got to like Ayuk.
I probably would have said Ayuk yesterday. But I just saw something where the weather is supposed to be horrible, like terrible weather. And I'm a little nervous with Trey Lance and I guess not his first start, but his first kind of like, you're the guy start. And when just in terrible weather against a terrible team, do they just run the ball 40 times? Like, does Trey Lance just run the ball 15 times? Like, do they hardly throw the ball at all? And if it's pouring rain and winding blowing sideways, I'm a little worried about that. I would normally have said Ayuk. I do really like Ayuk. I think Ayuk's been really good this year. This is a great matchup. So I guess I would say keep an eye on that. If it looks okay tomorrow, if they're like, hey, the weather's not going to be as bad as they say, then I would go back to Ayuk. Otherwise, I might just go with Hunt. But it does.
If I felt good about either of those others having a big game, I would agree. But DK, I mean,
I don't forget about him.
Geno Smith at quarterback, and then Hunt. It's just, he's okay. I just don't know he has a huge ceiling. So
I feel like people forget how good Kareem Hunt is. Like, he's been so forgotten this year. Like, the guy was averaging over 16 points in like 5 of the 7 games he played last year, and he gets goal line work and he gets the catches. So I don't know. I still really like Hunt. I think people are gonna be like, oh yeah, that's right, he's really good, huh? He's just kind of been forgotten, I think. And look, if the weather was fine, I would totally say Ayuk in this matchup. But man, if it's blowing sideways and pouring down rain, Kyle Shanahan might say like, we don't need to throw the ball. We can beat this team just running, like Lance running, Mitchell running, everybody just running, right? So that Debo running, like that's my worry with Ayuk. So check the weather and that's what I would say.
All right. It looks like we have another super chat. Let's get to that right away. For Alex Muatani. Full PPR for your RB2. All right. Well, here you go. Which Pats running back do you like better? We kind of talked about this when we were live a few days ago. We had some questions about this. So let me let you answer first. Damian Harris or Stevenson?
I still think Harris. I've said this so far. I still think as of now, Harris is the lead back there. I know Stevenson may be the pass catching back, but Ty Montgomery looks like he's going to play. I think he's going to have, I'm not going to say he's going to have the James White role, but I think he's going to have enough of the pass catching role where Stevenson might only catch 1 or 2 passes, which is still more than Damian Harris will catch. But if Damian Harris is getting 15 plus carries, I still like Damian Harris a little bit more. That may change as we go along during the season. We may see that shift, but right now I still like Harris a little bit more.
So all we've heard all offseason is Ramondre's taking over. He's going to be the one who catches passes. He's going to be the one who gets more work, even on early downs. So unless this is Bill Belichick, just like, subterfuge, just throwing everybody off. But I do believe it because we know Harris doesn't catch passes. Like, that's a fact. And Stevenson's shown he can do it. So I will lean Ramondre this week until we see differently, because the thing is, he's actually a pretty big back. I think he's bigger than Harris, so he can be used at the goal line. It's not like they're going to pull him. He scored just as frequently, inside the red zone. And then Pittman or Moore, love Moore, but I can't sit Pittman.
No, I can't sit Pittman. I like Moore too, but gotta go Pittman. All right, here we go. This is a big good one. Randy Cortez. Are we selling Gabe Davis high, or are we keeping him?
I keep him. Look, I sell high, which means you think like he's not going to do this again. He's shown he can do it again, and you want the wide receiver too that's attached to Josh Allen. I think you keep him for sure.
Yeah, I agree. You keep. I think he's going to be like this year's Mike Williams. He played all snaps, which is great, but that's because they use him as a blocker. So he's not. It's not like. But he only had 5 targets. He caught 4 passes for 88 yards and a touchdown. There's going to be some weeks where he only gets 5 targets and he only catches 2 passes for 30 yards. And you're like, dang it. But you can't ever really sit him. He's like Mike Williams. You can't ever really sit him because on any given week he can go off. So, no, I think you just – obviously, if somebody's going to give you something ridiculous like a first or a second round, somebody that was like a first or a second rounder in drafts this year for him, you take it and run. But other than that,
Yeah, that I agree. In trade, it's always hard to say. It depends if somebody offers you something ridiculous like Jonathan Taylor for Gabe. Okay, sure, take it. But, I wouldn't sell him just to sell him because you think you're, getting away with something. All right, this is a little unrelated, but it's a super chat. I'm going to throw it on there, Chris, so if you don't mind. Yeah, Nate Diaz or Tony Ferguson?
Wow, we're getting a UFC one.
That's you.
I don't know. Nate Diaz, I guess. They're both kind of like on the way down. So, but it's ridiculous. Whatever. Like this card's a mess. Like how do you let the guy miss weight by 8 pounds and say, well, we'll just move you around? Like that guy shouldn't even be fighting. But whatever. Nate Diaz, I guess. All right. We got Socket Ryans, Godwin, Bateman, Ayuk, and Pickens. Pick 2 in PPR. I think this one's going to be pretty easy for us. What do you got?
No doubt Bateman. We already talked about Ayuk. Unless you see that the wind is like 30 miles an hour or something crazy, I'd still trust Ayuk. Godwin, there's no way. And yeah, Pickens, not yet.
Yeah, even with even with the weather, I got to go Ayuk over Pickens. Godwin, no way am I starting. Even if they say Godwin's playing, I'm not starting. He hasn't taken any contact, no contact. He's not going to be out there as full snaps. And Pickens, He's a rookie making his first start. So regardless of the weather, I go Bateman.
Yes, Bang is. But which, by the way, anybody out there, corporate, we're not allowed to do this, right? This doesn't count. Corporate sponsorship, we're ready for Bang. Let's keep this the fuel of the fantasy end game.
That's right. Sponsor us, Bang. Let's go. Come on. We drink your stuff every day. Let's go. Ale, what's up, Ale? Long-time supporter of the channel. Dylan or Elijah Mitchell for RB2? Ooh.
I'd still go Dylan. I mean, I know we said, they could run the ball a lot, but still, who's it going to be? Is it really going to be like last year where it's all Eli Mitchell? And they drafted Ty Davis Price. I like Ty Davis Price. I think we'll see him a little bit. Jeff Wilson, I guess, is healthy. So I lean Dylan.
This one's close for me. I think I probably lean Dylan too. This is like a decision I don't really want to have. I do like Elijah Mitchell in this matchup against the Bears, but I also really like Dylan. And they may just run it a ton, the Packers, that is. So, yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one for sure. All right, Jan Bohm, Damian Harris versus Miami, or DJ Moore versus Cleveland. This might be one time where I say DJ Moore. I don't know why. I feel like we're gonna have a good. I feel like Baker is gonna play the game of his life. I mean, look, this isn't like I'm not giving you like deep analytics here. I'm giving you full gut intuition here. Like I just feel like Baker is gonna be like wants to come out, wants to prove something to the old team. Gonna have the game of his life. DJ Moore is gonna have a great game. Damian Harris. We know Ramondre's there. Maybe Ty Montgomery catching passes. I think I go DJ Moore.
And look, DJ Moore gets ripped on a little too much in the Discord. A lot of people, it's just kind of a joke now at this point. DJ Moore is a good receiver, right? Is Baker Mayfield a good quarterback for him? We'll see, but he can't be worse. He can, he can't be worse than what he's had the last couple of years. So, but even if DJ Moore gives the exact same, look, I don't think he'll be worse. All right, so DJ Moore will have his games. Mayfield should be motivated this game, whatever that means. I think Moore is fine, right? Without a touchdown, Harris is going to probably let you down. Moore will for sure give you something. So I go Moore.
Yeah, definitely. What's up, Marquise? Saying hi. All right, we got Jeff Glancy. Start Marquise Brown or Jalen Waddle non-PPR.
Oh, man. If it's non-PPR, I have to go Marquise Brown because he gets those chunk yards. It's not a bad matchup for Waddle. That Patriots defense not going to be exactly the same as last year. They don't have J.C. Jackson anymore. That was their best cornerback. And I think Waddle is healthy. But, I'd go Marquise Brown, especially. Ertz is limited. We already said Hopkins not playing, of course. Rondale Moore now is not playing. I think Marquise Brown has a big game.
Yeah, Marquise Brown for sure, especially in standard scoring, has a chance to catch a long touchdown.
And by the way, Stinger I just saw this. He asked, do y'all think Ertz will play this week? I think he plays, but I don't know how effective he is. And also we've heard, when you hear the word snap count or like pitch count, that's worrisome. I don't know if that's true, but you got to worry that he's not 100%. So, now we do have from MAZ who asked our UFC question earlier.
All right.
This is a football question. So here we go. Super chat. Much appreciated again. Judy, Sutton, or Myers? Pick two.
Judy and Sutton. Give me that Denver stack. One, if not both, should go off this week. So.
And some people will ask this question, like, do you feel comfortable starting guys in the same team, especially if it's the same position? I mean, that's a little riskier when it's like two receivers from the same team because you're really depending on that. But look, against the Seattle defense, you should be thrilled that you get to start both receivers in Denver. With Russ playing against his old team, are you kidding? With everything we find out that they were trying to trade him like every single year for the past 5 years. So you should be definitely happy to start Judy and Sutton. And Myers was, I think he's questionable also. I think he'll play, but he's also not like a no doubt must start in any format. So no. Judy and Sutton for sure. And then here we go. Now the super chats are starting to come in again. Guys, we appreciate JK. Etienne or Clyde, full PPR.
Look, I like Clyde this year. I think he's gonna do it. But man, I love Etienne this year. And if we learned anything from Thursday night, it's that don't be worried about James Robinson. Okay, James Robinson tore his Achilles 8 months ago. He's going to be in uniform. He's going to probably play some snaps, but he's not going to be very effective. He's probably not going to be out there very much. I say you fire Etienne up with confidence.
Honestly, what we're hearing about James Robinson and how much he's going to play, and he's listed as the RB1, it makes me worry a little bit about Etienne, to be honest, because it's almost like they really don't want him to be the look. I'm just saying,
guys, we got to stop with these Achilles guys.
No. It's not that I'm worried that James Robinson will be good or better. I'm worried that even with 80% or whatever, James Robinson, that they're still willing to throw him out there. Like, they don't trust Etienne to be that between the tackles runner. Like, I think he's just going to be like catching the ball out of the backfield. He's going to be the guy who's out there, but I said this how many times in the preseason. I don't think he gets more than 5 or 6 touchdowns. Like, I think that's his max. And that hurts, right? You don't chase touchdown rate because that's really variable from year to year. But you do look at touchdown upside. So like Gabe Davis, you talk about, like Mike Williams, those guys have huge touchdown upside every week. You know, there's a good chance they could score. You don't know if it'll happen, but I feel a lot better about it happening. So that's why Jonathan Taylor is the number 1 pick, because he could score a touchdown every single week, right? Travis Etienne, I don't really feel good about his prospects of scoring a touchdown, half the time. So that said, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, no, just no. Because everyone thinks, in that Kansas City offense, touchdown upside. He scored 4 touchdowns on the ground each of the last 2 years. He doesn't even score touchdowns at a high rate. So I still am going to start Etienne, but I guess I just use that as an excuse to say I'm a little worried about Travis Etienne. I don't know. Okay. Austin Eismont. All right. Half PPR. Okay. So we got Lamar, Mixon, Javonte, Jefferson, Allen. I'm looking
for Keenan Allen or Terry McLaurin. He's saying like Keenan Allen or Terry McLaurin.
Okay.
Is that what he's saying?
I'm guessing. Are you asking if you should start Keenan Allen or Terry McLaurin? If that's the question, which way do you go?
I still go Keenan Allen. I get that McLaurin has a nice matchup against the Jags, and Keenan Allen does have a tough matchup. The Raiders did do it. The Raiders, their slot corner is really good and does do a good job on it. But I still want to start Keenan Allen, attach that Chargers offense to McLaurin. That's the question.
Yeah, that's close. I can go Keenan Allen in that case. Okay, so flex bench. He has Sanders, Bateman, Pollard, Stevenson, AJ, Elijah Moore. I'm not sure AJ
Dillon. I mean, I can assume not AJ Brown.
I'm assuming not AJ Brown. If it's AJ Brown, he should be in your lineup. Okay, not really completely sure what the question is here. You're saying flex bench, or is he asking if somebody on the bench should be on his lineup?
I think he's asking if you should, like, which one. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think he's asking if you should flex one. Like, which one of these guys should be his flex?
Who would have flexed?
He's got Javonte as his running backs. Well, in that case, I would just flex McLaurin. Although I do really like Bateman too, and Elijah Moore and Dillon.
We've got some good players, and we don't know how deep this league is. I mean, I'm guessing this is 8 or 10 team because you have a pretty good roster. I would go Bateman between those flex plays. That's me.
But would you go Bateman over McLaurin? And it is half PPR. I feel like I like McLaurin's chances of hitting like on a big play this week.
It's close. It's close between those two. No, I think I'd go McLaurin over Bateman, just barely.
Yeah.
All right, Anthony Cervantes, Amon-Ra or Devontae Smith?
Everybody's going to hate us, or hate me at least, but I'm going to say Devontae Smith.
Going to say Devontae Smith, not because we hate Amon-Ra, just because Devontae Smith does have a good matchup.
Great matchup.
And then Troy Winston, start or sit, Juju or Judy?
Judy, just talked about it. There's probably going to be weeks where I'm going to say Juju over Judy, but this isn't one of them. I do like Juju. But, man, you got to give me Jerry Judy this week in that matchup. You got to give me Jerry Judy.
Juju is going to be hard to trust. And I said this before Pat Mahomes basically said it like, look, it's going to be a different guy every week. Who knows? Is Juju going to get a big target share? We don't know anymore, honestly. It's hard to say. You'd think they'd have to throw the ball a lot versus Arizona, but is it going to be to Juju? It's hard to say. Judy, you got to feel good about him this week. So, yeah, I go Judy. And then we have LMS 93, Michael Carter or Tony Pollard. That's an interesting one.
I like Pollard. I've talked about him a couple times. I already said it. They're not going to run on the Bucs. They're not even going to try to run on the Bucs. They're probably going to throw the ball 50 times like they did last year, like a lot of teams do. Like almost everybody that plays them does. Like they don't run. So I like Pollard this week. I think Pollard gets 5+ catches in a PPR format. I'll take that.
Yeah, look, we've heard that Pollard might be used basically as their slot receiver. I believe that because Gallup's not playing. Tolbert is a little banged up, and he doesn't seem like he's ready for a big role. Washington's not playing. They're going to need Pollard as a pass catcher. So PPR, I'm definitely going Pollard there. And then don't see a question here. A. Bennett, if you do have a question, let us know. If not, then just thank you. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, never mind. I see it down here. The question popped up. Lazard or Thielen? Well, that's pretty easy. Lazard is doubtful. He's probably not playing, so definitely not Lazard.
Yeah, even if Lazard, like he hasn't practiced all week, it doesn't sound good. Even if he plays, there's real worry that he barely plays. So I think Thielen, I feel pretty good about Thielen this week. Just roll with him.
Yeah, I would have picked Thielen anyways, even if Lazard is playing. But you definitely don't want Lazard this week. We mentioned at the top of the show. Another super chat here, and Stinger once more. Appreciate it, Stinger. Okay, so Ertz or Njoku?
I mean, I think I might just go Njoku and not have to deal with the potential snap count. I think if Ertz is on I saw a video of Ertz in practice. He looks fine. I think if he is on a snap count, it's going to be like he's not out there for run plays. He doesn't really block anyways. He'll be more out there in obvious passing situations anyways, which is really all you care about for fantasy. But I like Njoku a lot this week. I mean, Jacoby Brissett loves the tight end.
Yep.
It's him and Amari Cooper, and then what? Donovan Peoples-Jones, Anthony Schwartz, who can't catch. Like, he's going to get – I think he's going to have a huge target share. So I would just play it, I guess, safe and go with Njoku.
Yeah, you've got to like Njoku. They signed him for a reason, right? They like him. He is a great pass catching tight end. That's his main thing, right? He's not there to block. And like you said, you got a quarterback like Brissett. He's going to throw to him probably a lot. Those short intermediate ones. It's just not a lot at receiver. So I'd like Njoku anyways. I would probably start Ertz if I knew he was full go. But yeah, this week I would just go Njoku and not worry about it. And then we have one from 503. Hollywood or Bateman? That one is tough.
Maybe. I mean, I do like Bateman a lot this week, but man, I can't bench Hollywood this week against the Chiefs. You've got to score points against the Chiefs. You can't. They're no DeAndre Hopkins, no Rondell Moore, a banged up Zach Ertz. It's like I can't find a reason to sit Hollywood. Like there's Hollywood. There's not a lot of guys I would bench Hollywood. I would start over Hollywood this week, given the situation and the matchup. So I love Bateman, but man, Hollywood in a smash spot this week.
Yeah, you have to start Hollywood. So as much as I love Bateman, and especially this week the matchup, but it's got to be Hollywood. So another one from John Taylor. Thank you, sir. Interesting here. Duvernay, right. Pickens, or Claypool? Getting a little deeper here.
I'm going to roll. I know I say I don't really trust rookies week one, but in this bunch, I'm going to trust the rookie Pickens to hit a big play, do something, because I really don't trust Claypool at all. And we haven't heard anything like Duvernay has separated himself as the number 3 target here or anything like that. So I'm a little worried about that. So for me, I'm gonna shoot for the home run with Pickens.
Thing with Duvernay is, like, on paper, he should be a nice sleeper pick, but now instead of hearing about Duvernay, you know what we're hearing? Isaiah Likely, the rookie tight end, is like the number 3 target. That should worry you, because that means that neither Duvernay or Prochet or anybody else they have, Tylan Wallace, aren't good enough to really demand targets. So, yeah, I'm kind of out on Duvernay. Pickens or Claypool, I've never been a huge Claypool guy. And Pickens, I do think that he just needs that one quality target. So, yeah, I agree. I would go Pickens. And then we have another repeat here. Anthony Cervantes. Again, appreciate that. Montgomery or Etienne?
Look, maybe Peterson will throw one Achilles, James Robinson out there like McVay did with Cam Akers last year in the playoffs, and we'll watch James Robinson run for 30 yards on 15 carries and wonder what Peterson is doing. But I'm super high on Etienne this year, and Montgomery going against the Niners. The Niners defense, I mean, I like Montgomery. Montgomery's gonna have a great season. He's gonna have some great games. I think people are way too low on him. But man, against that Niners, no way. I'll take Etienne. I'll take Etienne.
If it wasn't for the matchups, I would go Montgomery. But yeah, that Niners defense is one of the best in the league. And, that could be a sloppy game, low scoring game. And we don't honestly know how that backfield will shake out either. We've heard a lot about Khalil Herbert getting more snaps, right? I think Treston Ebner eventually gets some work as the pass catching guy. And so only because they're going against, Washington. I'll go Etienne this week. I don't love him, but yeah, I think he's startable this week. All right. I think we're caught up on the super chats, guys. We appreciate it. Again, we're here
Thank you.
for a while. We'll try to get as many of these questions answered as possible. Guarantee we won't get all of them because we have so many. Super chat, great way to skip the line. Also, you can join us tomorrow. Become a patron if you're not already, and we'll see you tomorrow. And we'll answer all your questions. But let's keep it going, Chris. So who's up next?
All right, this is going to be a tough one for you, I'm sure. Sal Valenzuela, apologies if I mispronounce your name. Waddle or Brandon Cooks?
9 times out of 10, I'd say Waddle. He practiced. He's going to play. The matchup isn't terrible, but it's also not great. I do think Cooks gets more targets, probably comes away with more yards because they're going to have to pass to keep up with Indy. So I'm going to go Cooks this week.
Oh, okay. I thought sure you'd go Waddle. I like Cooks a lot this week. I'm on Brandon Cooks as well.
I don't always succeed, but I always try to keep my biases out of the way.
All right. And then Mike Jones, a lot of Damian Harris questions today. Damian Harris, Breece Hall, or Michael Carter? Which one do you trust the most?
And look, speaking of that, I love Damian Harris last year, and that was a good thing for my teams that had him, but I'm backing off a little bit. I think he's solid, right? I would start him over Michael Carter. And look, they're talking up all this stuff. Michael Carter, what is it today? Is the heartbeat of the offense or something ridiculous? Like, come on. Like, dude, no. I don't want to trust any of the Jets running backs this week, but I think I would go with Breece Hall because I think he's got that big playability. I think we will see him, wind up with more points at least than Michael Carter. I'm not falling for all that stuff, so I'm going to go Breece Hall.
Yeah, me too. I'm going Breece Hall as well. I think, Breece Hall. All right, Jorge Ortiz, Judy or St. Brown? Judy, St. Brown, or Christian Kirk?
Okay, so I would have Judy as my top pick there, right? Judy's first. And then if you had to choose St. Brown or Kirk, I don't know about Kirk. I really don't know how to feel about Christian Kirk right now because he should be the number 1 receiver there. I just don't know that he will be the number 1 receiver. And I really don't know what to expect out of Trevor Lawrence, honestly. I kind of want to see what happens there in that offense. I don't even know if I would feel good about Christian Kirk over St. Brown this week, and I don't like St. Brown this week, so I just probably wouldn't start Christian Kirk.
Is he asking for 2? I mean, Judy for sure.
I don't know. The slash is throwing me off.
Yeah, if he's asking for 2, I'd gamble with Kirk personally, but I get it if you want to go St. Brown. I mean, Kirk at least has the ability on any play to catch a 30-yard touchdown. Yeah, St. Brown did that last year, but it's more like yard after catch stuff. And I don't think he's going to do that against the Eagles. He's not going to be able to just bust free against the Eagles like that, probably. So if it's only start one, it's definitely Judy.
Yeah.
If it's start 2, flip a coin between St. Brown or Kirk. I just feel like Kirk has a little more upside this week. So.
Probably. That's the thing. St. Brown is depending on his target share. And look, Hawkinson is healthy. Swift is out there. And they got Chark. They actually have other people. So, all right. Super Chats are now starting to fly in here. So I'm going to throw out some couple. Angie Anderson with a super sticker. All right. Thank you, Angie.
Thank you.
And then we got D Rock Music. Jacobs, Gage, or Woods for the flex this week?
Gage for me. I like Gage. I think Gage is gonna have a nice week. Like I said, I don't think we see Godwin at all. Julio, I mean, yeah, okay, but he's probably only going to be out there like situational, maybe like third downs type of stuff like that. Mike Evans, the Cowboys did do a good job locking down Mike Evans last year. I still like Mike Evans, but I think Gage is gonna have a lot of opportunity in this game. Woods and Jacobs they just don't do it.
Yeah, Gage, if he has no limitations, if you hear that he's good, no problem, I go Gage. I don't mind Woods just because I think, obviously with a good matchup there against the Giants, and Burks doesn't seem like he's really ready to contribute. But yeah, I'd go Gage if we know that he's a full go. And then we have McCoy Shedden. For the flex spot, Bateman, Sanders, Waddle, CEH, or Penny?
Well, assuming it's PPR, Bateman.
Yeah, I go Bateman.
I might go Bateman regardless, but
it's close. I think Bateman has more upside than Waddle this week, so I would go Bateman. Yeah, assuming it's PPR. Even if it's non-PPR, I still think Bateman's got a good chance to score, get some chunk yardage. So, and then our boy, Mr. Spicy himself, Roberto. Hey, there you go. Got the flaming pepper in there. All right, so Roberto's asking Gage. We got another Gage question, or Sanders.
Going back to Gage, I like Gage this week. I think he's got a lot of upside. Yeah, again, probably a game where both teams is going to probably be a high-scoring shootout type of game, similar to what we saw last year. So give me Gage.
Yeah, like Gage is good. You start him. There's a reason we drafted a ton of him this year. Like if you joined any of the mock drafts we did all off season, we saw Gage probably going higher on average than in any other ADP that you'd see industry wide. So we're big on Gage. I think that he'll be fine this week. And then let me go back to MAZ. Defensive question. I know you love those. Indy or Cowboys for rest of the season?
I mean, don't worry about rest of the season. Just play you don't want to have to hold one defense. Play the matchup. I like Indy a lot this week, going against Davis Mills and the Texans. I know they're not a team that necessarily gets a ton of sacks or a ton of turnovers, but I'm not playing the Cowboys against the Buccaneers, even if they're not full health offensively. I'm still not starting the Cowboys against the Bucs. I would go with Indy, and then I wouldn't worry about holding them. I would just play the defense that has the best matchup next week, personally.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, you're saying hold rest of the season, so it makes it sound like you have to, and you're going to drop one, I guess, to pick up somebody else. I mean, if you can add and drop a defense, you don't have to worry about it right now. But look, week one, definitely you should prefer Indy, obviously going against Houston. Who do I like rest of the season? Like in my draft rankings, I have the Cowboys ranked higher, just because Micah Parsons, a good pass rusher, Diggs, they can force turnovers, and they play in the NFC East. They get to play Washington twice. They get to play the Giants twice, right? Eagles are going to be really good. I get it, but Cowboys have a much better schedule. So I like the Cowboys defense better, but in week one, I like Indy better. So play Indy and roll with them until you need a different defense.
Exactly.
And then we just got another. We got Kevin asking on the flex. I'm guessing that's Bateman. If you have Batman, then you win.
If you have Batman, you start him every week, no matter regardless of matchup.
Auto start. But Bateman, Pollard, or Jarvis Landry?
Actually, it says Jarvis Laundry, which I think is hilarious. But it's Bateman. It's for sure Bateman. We're getting a lot of Bateman questions, but definitely Bateman.
Yeah, Bateman. Look, number one receiver there look, Lamar Jackson, by the way, going to be pretty pissed and super motivated to show that he should be the highest paid quarterback in the league, as he should be. He's going to be motivated all year long. He doesn't have a lot to throw to besides Mark Andrews and Rashad Bateman. He's going to throw Bateman a ton. Bateman is really good, and they get the Jets. love Bateman this week. Pollard is a solid start, but Bateman, for me, those options for sure, Bateman.
All right, we do the super chats.
We're good. We're good for now. Let's get back to the
We got Gabriel Bershner, flex Mooney, Penny, or Robert Woods in PPR.
I really like Mooney. I know the weather is an issue. I know the defensive situation is bad, but Mooney's going to get so much of a target share. Like every time they have to pass, and they'll probably have to pass quite a bit, Mooney's going to be peppered with targets all year. Penny has upside, but man, that's also a really, really low floor play. Like he could just get shut down, right? And then Woods just doesn't do much for you.
Yeah, I agree. Got to go with Mooney out of that group. Another Bateman question. Anok, Juju or Bateman PPR?
Easy Bateman.
Yeah, definitely. Easy Bateman. This one might be a little tough from Brandon. Penny or Montgomery for his running back 2?
It is tough, right? It is tough. Look, both are in unfavorable matchups. That's the thing. Neither Penny's actually going to get more of a market share because he's got nobody to split carries with, right? As far as on the ground, I know Homer and Dallas will get a couple receptions here and there, but really it'll be all Penny. Montgomery, we don't know, so I slightly lean to Penny.
I think I slightly lean Montgomery. My worry with Penny is even last year he wasn't, and of course I was with Russ, but he's never really been a big pass catcher. And Montgomery will catch passes, right? We know he will catch passes in this offense. So I think I roll both in brutal spots, both in brutal matchups, both probably going to be in brutal game script. But I think I give Monty the slight edge because he can catch 3 or 4 or 5 passes, especially if they're losing, and Fields just dumps it off to him like 4 or 5 times. Whereas I don't think that's going to happen for Penny.
That is true. Montgomery has the higher floor, right? Penny, if they're down by like 3 touchdowns or something, which is very possible in this game, we could see a lot more Travis Homer and stuff like that. But he also has that home run ability, a little more upside to me. So since they're kind of both, I'd slightly lean for the upside. But that's a tough call.
And then we got another one I think is kind of tough. Meet the Woo, Pierce or Penny in PPR.
So for the reasons we just discussed, I slightly lean Pierce, actually, which is hard for me to believe myself, but I'm going to go with Pierce just a little bit.
Me too. Indy not as brutal as a matchup, and Pierce is a good pass catcher, and he's shown that in the preseason as well.
Right. And that's the thing. We know Pierce, he's the early down back, he's the pass catching back, he's the goal. Like, that's it. It's just going to be Pierce. They'll bring in Rex Burkhead once in a while just for a breather, but we're going to see a ton of Pierce.
All right, Kenny G. Had a guy drop Irv Smith. Should I drop Gerald Everett to pick him up?
I don't think so. I think you should like it. Look, I'm liking Everett more and more because we're hearing that he's going to be involved. It's not a terrible matchup as far as against the Raiders. I like Everett's chances to contribute. And you look, if you have Irv Smith, it's okay in that new offense with 11 personnel. How often does a tight end really get targeted? And Irv Smith's also coming off of a season-ending injury. We don't know exactly what we're going to get from Irv Smith. So I think Everett probably has just as much upside, if not more.
I was going to say that. It's almost like the same situation, right? They both have competition at wideout as far as, Keenan and Mike Williams and even Joshua Palmer, whereas Irv Smith has KJ Osborne, Justin Jefferson, and Adam Thielen. So I would just prefer – and Justin Herbert does target the tight end. Not a huge amount, but he does target the tight end, especially around the zone.
That's the other thing I just remembered, too, because I was thinking there was something else. I saw Donald Parham, who's the backup tight end. I think he's doubtful. And so that's even less competition at his position. We might see Everett out there for more snaps. So that's – just a little something to nudge in his favor. MAZ, I think this is your 3rd super chat. Definitely appreciate it, my guy or girl, we don't know. MAZ, 200 plus in the chat. Thumbs up vids. All right, giving us a shout out. Cowboys D rest of season. That's what I said. Cowboys D. Not for week 1, but rest of season. That's my pick.
All right, this one's gonna test me. Chris, why are you giving me? We got the same name, man. Give me like a softball. Give me like a nice easy one. Zeke or Stevenson?
Well, let's see. One of those is turning into dust before our eyes, and the other is not. Yeah, it's Stevenson for me. Even for me, it's Stevenson.
I think so. I think you got it. I'm like, you guys, I mean, 39 yards last year. And he caught 3 passes. He still only had like 39 yards. And he was healthy. You can't blame the knee. He was healthy. It was week 1. Yeah, I think you got to go Stevenson. All right, the Joe Show. Damian Pierce or Tony Pollard?
This one's close also. These are like a lot of times we have guys, and by the way, if you are a patron, you'll see our rankings are in there. Put weekly rankings on the Patreon page, and so you have access to that. And this is one where those guys are like neck and neck for me. They're pretty close. I don't remember offhand exactly, where I have them, but it's one of those things where, like, okay, you have a guy who's listed as your RB20 and the other RB21 or 22. Like, that doesn't make it like an obvious slam dunk. You'd start this guy because there's different formats, there's different situations. I actually would go Pierce. I think he has he's going to carry the ball more, right, than Pollard.
Yeah.
And he's the pass catcher, and I think he's got more touchdown upside. So I'm going Pierce.
Yeah, I love Tony Pollard this week. I think I'll have a nice game, but I got to go with the guy who's going to get the touches, get more of the touches. So yeah, I go with Pierce as well. Then we have another Jarvis Laundry question. Is YouTube auto-correcting Landry to Laundry, or is this like a running joke now? We're just going to call him Jarvis Landry. Or Laundry, I mean. All right, so Kevin asking a lot of Tony Pollard questions as well. Landry or Pollard, pure flex?
And I'll typically defend Landry, but I'll go Pollard in this case because, I think Kamara has a huge game.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about Michael Thomas at all whatsoever, but I don't think sorry, I almost said Laundry. I literally said Laundry. I don't think Landry gets a ton of targets in this game necessarily. I think he'll be fine, but I'll go Pollard.
Yeah, I agree. Landry, doesn't do anything. He'll be fine, but nothing more than fine. At least Pollard has a chance to score. Okay. Pollard might have as many receptions as Jarvis Landry, to be honest, so I'll go with Pollard.
All right, we did just get another super chat. Honestly, though, I want to throw this up, and it's not, but I felt compelled. The use of all caps and the urgency in it just caught my attention. He says, I have to do it now. Do you have to set your lineup like by 7 p.m. on a Saturday? I don't get it, but okay, he says Kittle's out. I don't even know if that's official or if he's just assuming. We'll look that up. Okay, but he's asking Everett or Pat Freiermuth, and this is our first Pat Freiermuth question. So, Everett or Pat? I'm going to go Everett. We talked about Everett quite a bit already. Pat Freiermuth, I mean, who knows? He's competing now with 3 good receivers and Mitch Trubisky. I would go Everett.
Yeah, I don't see anything about Kittle being officially out, but I don't feel good about him. But yeah, I go Everett as well.
This feels like a really panicky question. Like he's like, it's not Sunday morning, my guy. I mean, look, maybe you do have to set your lineup now. Who knows? But all right, we'll say Everett if Kittle is out. Look, well, actually, let me ask you this: what if Kittle's questionable up to game time? Do you just keep Kittle in there, or you roll with Everett?
In that case, I'd probably roll with Kittle just because I don't feel like that great about Everett. If Njoku is between Kittle and Njoku, I might go with Njoku, a guy who I feel better about this week. Because Kittle, even if he plays, I mean, you really got to worry, how healthy is he? So,
all right, but here's our super chat, Mr. Stinger again. Oh, okay. I think he just wanted an excuse to throw Mooney out there. Look, Stinger, you get all the credit for that Mooney call last year. That Mooney would outscore Allen Robinson. You were absolutely right. Okay, so yes, you start Mooney. So who else? Ayuk, Ertz, Palmer, Woods.
I still got to go Ayuk over. I know I talked about the weather, but I got to go Ayuk over those guys. Mooney and Ayuk.
Yeah, it's so tempting to start Ertz, but again, we're not hearing great things. And then if he's out there and he's limited, it's Ayuk. I get the weather. I like to not overreact to weather reports unless it's crazy wind. right? Which it might be. For all I know, it could be. I haven't really checked, but I would go with Ayuk.
Yeah, I'll pull it up here. What it said, if I can find it. Okay, here's what it said. Now with rain and 20-mile-per-hour winds, this game is now flagged as an extreme with credible weather impact risk on player production. So, but look, it's Saturday evening. Weather can change quick. So by tomorrow morning, it might be like, oh, it's not that the winds were only like 10 miles an hour. Like, no, it's not even going to rain. So, yeah. But even still, over those guys, I'm going to go.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, Robert Woods probably won't win you your week. Josh Palmer, we like long term, but he's not the number one guy. He's no number two guy, number three guy there. So I'd still take the chance with Ayuk.
Yeah. All right, Turbo Minecraft. Half PPR, Marquise or Deontay?
Definitely Marquise.
Yes, especially in half PPR. He's got massive touchdown upside. Randy Cortez just dropped a like. Thank you, guys. Yeah, if you haven't already, hit that like button, please. Going through as many questions as you can here. I think we did this one, right? Kirk, St. Brown, Judy. I feel like we did that one.
I feel like it's the same question, but it's backwards now. It was Judy, and there was a slash in there. So this is like, I don't know. Judy, yeah, out of those three, it's Judy.
Yeah. All right, Nathan Flynn, Adam Thielen or Hunter Renfrow?
Interesting. That's an interesting one. I like Thielen. I mean, he's healthy. You know, he always has high touchdown upside. Going against Green Bay, they'll throw it a ton. So, yeah, I'll go with Thielen.
I go with Thielen as well. All right, JP, love the show. Thank you so much. Who would you bench? AJ Dillon, Bateman, or Thielen?
That's tough. I mean, those are three guys we like. Just finished saying I like Thielen. Bateman, I can't bench. Not for those guys. I wouldn't bench Bateman. Man, it's tough between Dillon and Thielen. I know you love Dillon this week. I don't know though. This is full PPR. I don't know if I would bench Thielen because I feel like he's going to have a good game. Where do you lean, Dillon or Thielen?
Yeah, I can bench Thielen pretty easily in this one, to be honest, between these guys. Thielen's a touchdown. Like, he's pretty much just a touchdown or bust guy now, right? Like, he's not a guy that gets you 7 or 8 catches anymore because they have this other guy on the other side of him who gets a huge target share because he's the best, or one of the best receivers in the game. A.J. Dillon, I think, has just as much chance to score a touchdown in this game as Thielen does. So, plus he's going to get carries, plus he will catch some passes. So I go A.J. Dillon. Dillon and Bateman, my choice.
Yeah. All right. You sold me. Dillon and Bateman. Or bench Thielen.
Yeah, bench Thielen. New Life. Hello, guys. What do you think of Isaiah Likely to start and rest the season?
Maybe he'll start. He'll be out there in like 2 tight end sets. That's fine. Maybe he is the number 3 target in Baltimore. I can see that happening. But do you start him in fantasy? No. Not yet. I mean, hopefully you have a tight end you can start over him, and hopefully you're not in a league where you can start 2 tight ends. So I don't mind Likely, but he's really just more kind of like a bench stash to throw out there in case of emergency.
Yeah, even rest of the season, I'm not high on him. Unless Andrews gets hurt, then all of a sudden he's probably – if Andrews gets hurt, he'll probably be like the number 1 waiver wire pickup.
Right.
But yeah, it was – like that was a funny thing. Like all off season, because we've been hyping up Bateman all off season, and some people are like, they don't throw it enough. Can't support Andrews and Bateman. But now people are like, well, they can support Andrews, Bateman, and Likely, right? Like now they can suddenly support 3 guys. Like, probably not. So I don't think he's going to do much this year unless Andrews gets hurt. All right, Marco, good evening. Should I start Dotson, Palmer, Wandale, your guy, Tolbert, or Danny Gray? Not Danny Gray.
Let's say no to Tolbert. We've already discussed him earlier. Gray, I think he's startable in certain matchups, but not this week. The weather we were talked about, worried about Ayuk. If you're worried about Ayuk, you should be worried about Gray. Like if you're picking one of those guys, I already talked about this. I like Wandale this week. Nobody else in that receiving core is actually fully healthy. And even if they're playing, Sterling Shepard's coming off an Achilles, right? It's an Achilles. Okay, so we don't have to go there. I don't want to invoke Cam Akers' name again. So what is Shepard really going to do? Kadarius Toney, I don't even know. Is he actually healthy or what?
I don't know. I'm sorry. I get all the Wandale, like the things for Wandale, but he's still playing with Daniel Jones, who is arguably the worst starting quarterback in the league. I still got to go Dotson. Let me see Wandale once. Let me see Wandale actually like get targets from Daniel Jones that are catchable. We can do something with them, and then maybe I'll buy into one.
Well, let me tell you, here's my thing. This is why I like Wandale, because Daniel Jones is his quarterback. He's going to get the type of targets they want, which is stand there at the line of scrimmage and catch the screen. Stand there behind the line of scrimmage and take the pitch or do the end around or do the 5-yard slant. That's why they like him. He fits his offense because that's what Daniel Jones can do pretty well, which is throw the ball as short as possible. That's what they're going to use him for. He's basically going to be like a glorified halfback. So Saquon's going to get a ton of targets. I think Wandale gets a ton of targets, and he's a yak guy, right? He's a speed guy. He's like a returner and one of those guys who's like a hybrid, kind of like a Curtis Samuel type. That's why I like Wandale, because he doesn't have to depend on those downfield throws.
Well, that's good because he's not.
So yes, exactly. That's why I like him. So look, I could be wrong, but we'll see. Look, this week I think I've just basically gone all in on Wandale Robinson. So we'll see what happens. And Tennessee defense, I'm not worried about.
Yeah, not worried about the Tennessee defense. I mean, I'm fine. Like, to me, it's Dotson or Wandale. I don't really love any of these guys this week, so it's supposed to be a really deep league. All right, Ivan Torres. I drafted A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones on the same team, 14-team league. I have them as RB1 and RB2, but I look to trade one. I mean, you should always be looking to trade if it actually helps your team and makes you better. You shouldn't be looking to trade like having A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones isn't a reason to make the trade, but if somebody's willing to give you something for one of those guys that makes your team better, that's a reason to trade.
Yeah, I don't think having two running backs in the same team, like it's not maybe ideal, but you're in a 14-team league as well. So let's just ask this, just like in a vacuum, is Aaron Jones, could he be an RB1 for fantasy in a 14-team league? Yes. Yeah, could A.J. Dillon be an RB2? Yes.
Definitely.
Now, the only thing it really does is it affects your week-to-week volatility, because if the Packers suck, if they get shut down, especially in the running game, yeah, you didn't get anything from your running back position. But when they do well, then you're going to boom. So it just makes it more dependent on that one team. But I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily. So I wouldn't trade just for the sake of trading ever. And look, I really like Dillon for where you got him. Probably was a great value. So no, I don't think you have to look to trade one, but always be open.
Yeah, exactly. All right, D's. I need two. Juju, Bateman, Kirk, or Chubb?
Chubb question. Let you handle the Chubb question first.
Full PPR, I'm going Bateman. Like Chubb is fine.
Okay, but he needs two. So if Bateman is for sure one, is Chubb the other?
Okay,
would you start Kirk or Juju over Chubb?
No. Okay, in that case, Chubb and Bateman. I didn't see the two. So yeah, Chubb and Bateman.
Yeah, because he's like PPR 1 point, but you still start Chubb. Like, get it? He's maybe not elite in PPR, but he tremendous touchdown upside, tremendous runner, and they're going to lean on him as long as Brissett's the quarterback. So in this matchup, yeah, it's Chubb and Bateman.
Yeah, great. All right, Tim McGuire, your boy CEH, or your other boy Brandon
Ayuk. You can ask me this question every week. It'll be Ayuk.
I want to say Ayuk. Like before this weather stuff, it was definitely Ayuk, and it probably is still Ayuk. Unless we wake up in the morning tomorrow and hear that the weather has just gotten so bad, like huge gusts. Yeah, Ayuk.
I don't know. It could be like Sharknado, and I would start Ayuk over CEH. I don't care. Like CEH gives you nothing. He does nothing for your team. Stop believing the CEH. All right. Ron Navy, thank you. Appreciate the super chat here. First time watching the show. All right. Well, hopefully not.
Ron Navy, I'm pretty sure you're correct me if I'm wrong, but you're in the Cut Dynasty League, right?
Is this Bill's boy?
Yeah, right?
Oh, okay. Except for the anti-ATN comment. Well, that's me. That's just me. All right, well, we appreciate it. Hopefully get a chance to take you down in the cut. Joe Castle, should I start Nico Collins?
I mean, it depends on your other options. I think he's startable in like really deep leagues if you're not happy with your other options, but
I mean, it depends who else you have. Look, I would say do I love Nico Collins this week? No, don't love him. The matchup is just not great. It's okay. They might have to pass a lot, but we don't really know what that offense is going to look like. I like Nico Collins in general. I like him long term, but look, tell us if you can, Joe, throw a comment in there who your other options are, and then we can answer that better. And then traveling BS. Yeah, it does travel. Pick 2 running backs: Connor Swift, Mitchell, Edmonds, and Pierce. And then a replacement for Ertz. All right, let's do running back first. Pick 2.
I go Swift and Mitchell. Swift's a no doubter.
Swift's no doubt.
I still like Mitchell against the Bears. I think he's going to get tons of work. Bears defense so bad.
I'm not benching James Conner. Honestly, I know that we don't love drafting him in the 3rd round, but look, it's all said and done now. Who do you like better, Conner or Mitchell? I go Conner. Look, Edmonds is gone. Conner's going to get just as many touches, not more, than last year. And with all the injuries at wide receiver, they're going to need to lean on him. I think he catches some passes. So to me, it's Swift and then Conner. And then replacement for Ertz, we got Irv Smith, Njoku, Fant, or Tunyon.
I mean, you're going to hear me say this a lot tonight, but it's Njoku. I like Njoku a lot. I think Njoku could be a top 12, top 10 tight end this week, just on his target share.
You know, I like Njoku. Look, Tunyon's kind of a nice sleeper pick, but I wouldn't start him over those guys because Green Bay obviously issues out receiver with Lazard out. Tunyon, good chance he can score a touchdown, get some targets. We hear he was just being talked up by, I think it was Aaron Jones or something, that you're going to be surprised. Whatever. Okay, fine. Let's see it. But yeah, Tunyon, not a bad pick, but this week, Njoku. And then Ron, not so much a question, but he's playing one of us this week. All right. Well, it's
Pierre. Pierre has CMC.
I have CMC. All right. Well, here we go.
Here we go. Battle.
I'm literally taking on the Navy.
All right. Garrett, Amon-Ra or Sutton?
Easy. That's an easy one. You're throwing out the lobs here. So that's Sutton.
That's like one of those, tell me you didn't watch our videos without telling me you didn't watch our videos.
Yeah. Go check the Booms video. You'll see what Chris thinks about Sutton.
All right, Terry Beard. Good stuff, guys. Agonizing over Chase Edmonds versus Rashad Penny in my flex. I got to go with Edmonds. I still think Edmonds gets the majority of the work, and he's not going up against Denver. And Miami's probably not going to be getting blown out by 3 touchdowns by Russell Wilson, so I still like Edmonds.
Yeah, it's kind of a floor ceiling argument here. Penny has almost no floor. Honestly, that's the problem. Is he could rip off, he could score, but yeah, I go with Edmonds. It's a little too risky there, and Edmonds is still the lead guy there. All right, another super chat just jumped on here.
You?
Cool. PPR, one flex, another Bateman question. But
I feel like Bateman has been in like 90% of the questions, and Dylan's been in like 80%.
This is tough.
It's definitely between Bateman and Dylan for me.
Yep.
This is really.
I think we're gonna split here because I'm leaning Bateman. I know you're close. You're on the fence. You might want to lean Dylan. You like Dylan this week, but
I do like Dylan a lot this week, but I like Bateman a lot this week too. And in that full PPR, I might give Bateman a slight edge because I could see Bateman catching, 6, 7, 8 passes. Dylan might score a touchdown and Bateman might not, but if Bateman's catching 6 or 7 passes, it might not matter if he scores a touchdown or not. So I might go slight lean towards Bateman, but I like them both a lot. Like I feel great about both of them.
Yeah, I'm going Bateman.
There we go. All right, Ron, half PPR. Etienne, Miles Sanders, A.J. Dillon, or Juju. One running back and one flex.
Interesting. All right. I do think I said something positive about Miles Sanders like earlier this week. I don't remember, but I might have said he has I kind of don't hate him this week because it's Detroit, but you can pick him. Okay, so I know who my two are. Well, yeah, so I guess this answers it because I'm not going to go Juju. I go Etienne and Dillon.
Same, Etienne and Dillon for me, pretty easily there, honestly. But I know I'm higher on Etienne than a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't hate him this week. I just don't love him.
Okay.
That makes sense.
All right, grew up gaming, didn't we all? In a half PPR format, would you recommend Terry McLaurin or DJ Moore in the flex?
Terry. I think you got to go Terry this week.
Yeah, in that against the Jags, got to go Terry.
And we do have let's go Danny G. I think this is the second. Appreciate it, our boy.
What kind of decision is this? These are your RB2s? What kind of decision is this?
3-team league?
Oh my goodness.
Go ahead. Got to start one. Etienne or Dillon. I don't think you can start Hall.
All my guys this week. I like all these guys this week.
Yeah, but you wouldn't start Hall over either of those two, would you?
Probably not. Probably not over those two. It's close between Etienne and Dillon for me. I mean, I guess maybe I go Dillon just in case Peterson goes full Sean McVay and says, go out there and run for 2 yards to carry and keep doing it. I don't care because I love you so much. So just in case of that, I'd probably go Dillon. But man, that's a tough decision for me.
I'm going Dillon. Got some trust issues with Etienne now, so yeah, I go Dillon. Etienne would be my second choice, not too far behind, but yeah, I don't think you can pick Hall just yet over those two guys. But look, a few weeks from now, Hall might be your no-brainer answer.
I mean, having those guys, you're going to be set at running back all year.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing, is you don't really have to worry about the waiver wire. Probably. Okay, Monty or Pollard?
Man, all right, this one's it's going to get tough for me because it's like, do you want volume in a bad matchup or do you want – I think I'm going to go Pollard. I think I like Pollard's upside a little more in a game that should feature a lot of scoring, a lot of going up and down the field. I think he's going to catch a decent amount of passes. Just worried about Montgomery against the Niners. So I'm going to go Pollard.
Yeah, there's some reasons to be worried about Montgomery. Pollard, do feel good about his floor because he's going to be used as a pass catcher. I'm hoping this is full PPR. That definitely gives you an advantage.
Yeah.
Actually, if it was standard, just non-PPR, I might go Monty, but assuming it's half or full, I'm going Pollard. And then we have Nathan, 6-point passing TD league. Would you go Trey Lance or Kirk Cousins?
Kirk Cousins,
yeah. I think it's got to be Kirk Cousins. Look, they should throw the ball a lot in this game. I don't dislike Trey Lance, but yeah, I think it's definitely Cousins for me too. Appreciate the super chat. And then we have Adrian Trevino, $50 in Mexican. So Pierce, St. Brown, or Elijah Moore, no PPR though.
Okay.
No St. Brown then, right? If it's not PPR.
Yeah, definitely not St. Brown and no PPR. It does make it a little closer between Moore and Pierce for me because even if Elijah Moore catches, say, 8 passes for 100 yards, which is a huge game, that's still only 10 points in standard scoring, right? If Pierce gets a touchdown, that's 6. So it makes it – I think I'd probably still go Elijah Moore just because I like that matchup so much. But it definitely makes it closer with the non-PPR.
Yeah, it is tough. It makes you want to lean to the running back.
Yeah.
But again, I don't feel like Pierce is set for a huge game. I think he gets a lot of touches, but I don't think, assuming touchdown upside is the same for both, right? Yardage-wise, I could see Moore outpacing Pierce. So I'm going to go Elijah Moore even in no PPR. And then Pierce right behind him. And then Randy Cortez. We have drop MVS or Palmer for Lance.
I mean, who's your QB? It depends who your QB is.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay dropping MVS from almost anybody.
Yeah.
But if you already have a really good quarterback, you don't need Trey Lance. Like, I'd rather.
Do you? Okay, let me ask. Let's say he has somebody who's fine. Do you add Lance to kind of stop somebody else from getting him because of that upside?
I mean, the thing is, if Trey Lance is on your waiver wire, either your league doesn't think he's any good and they don't want any part of him anyways, or you're in a very small league, like an 8-team league or something like that, where everybody probably has a better quarterback than Trey Lance, or they think they have a better quarterback than Trey Lance. So probably not dropping MVS, even though I don't like MVS. If he goes off this week, let's say he catches 2 long touchdowns, you're going to be able to trade him for something decent because people are going to think like, oh, MVS on the Chiefs, they pay him a ton of money, he's going to be the guy. So, yeah, I'm guessing if Lance is on your waiver wire, you don't need Trey Lance, and none of your league mates probably need Trey Lance. So I'll probably just hold on to those guys.
Yeah, to me, you can drop MVS for anybody. Like, I would drop him for Palmer, probably. Lance would be, like you said, if you're in a league where Lance is just out there, obviously nobody values him enough to make him trade bait. So, yeah, I would just do it for Palmer. Here we go. I know you were dying. It had been 2 minutes. Another Bateman question, but that's okay because I like him so much. I could talk about him all night. All right, so pick 2 for wide receiver 2 and flex, half PPR. We got Montgomery, Mooney, a couple of Bears there, Bateman or Pierce. So we need 2. One of them has to be receiver.
So half PPR. I still like Bateman a ton. I think Bateman's the guy out of those that I go with. Then for me, it's probably between Pierce and Mooney. With it being half PPR and Mooney going up against the Niners, I think I might go slight edge to Pierce. I might go Bateman and Pierce here.
Yeah, that's where I'm leaning. Most weeks, I'll say Mooney, you kind of have to start him. But this week, just because the defense, the 49ers, plus the weather, plus the Chicago offensive line is, like a sieve. So probably Bateman for sure, Bateman.
Yeah, definitely.
And then number 2, I'd give the slight edge to Pierce.
Yeah, I think they have PPR, because Mooney can have
PPR. Yeah,
Mooney can have still have 6 or 7 catches this week, but if Pierce scores a touchdown, that pretty much washes that out. So,
all right, so we're gonna get back to by the way, once again, do appreciate the super chats, guys. We got about let's say 30 minutes left tonight.
Yeah, I guess we'll see how it's going.
We'll go. I mean, we can go. We'll just ballpark, but we've been on already. You can see since 5 Central, 6 Eastern. So we're going to try to get to as many questions as possible. Said the super chat, best way to guarantee your question gets answered, or definitely want that guarantee, you can become a patron and join us tomorrow morning. All that information is in the description below. You can join us on Patreon. You can join us in the Discord and get more information. You can also ask your questions in the Discord. Always people will help you out. So we're going to continue. We'll probably pick up the pace a little bit to try to get to as many questions as possible. But again, just want to throw that out there as far as the super chat. We definitely appreciate it, guys. And if you haven't subscribed already, I don't know what else we could do. So just subscribe. All right, let's keep going.
Let's try to get some where we haven't talked about these guys so far, which is there's not a lot of them. A lot of the same guys here. All right, this is interesting. Chad, what's up, Chad? Another valuable member of the community. Kittle over Garrett Wilson if he's clear.
Yeah, definitely. Garrett Wilson, I don't expect too much for. That's why I'm kind of huge on Elijah Moore. I really think he commands the vast majority of the targets. Flacco already has some chemistry with him. Moore's a stud. Wilson will take a little bit of time, so yeah.
And then our first Amari Cooper question, do you start Amari Cooper over Brandon Cooks?
I don't. I don't think either of us really expect much from Cooper, do we?
No, definitely not. And I want to at least see how him and Brissett kind of how that target share looks before I start him. And I like Cooks a lot this week, so I just go with Cooks for sure.
Yeah, Cooks is a pretty solid play. And here we go. Not a question. That's a good, very good point there. Join the Discord. Just mentioned that, guys. It's not just the two of us. We try to answer as much as we can on the Discord. And by the way, it's not just line advice questions. We also, talk Dynasty, we talk trades. We throw memes out there. There's all sorts of stuff going on in the Discord. It's just a good place to be. So, and smart guys like Danny, always there to help you too.
That's right. All right, this is going to be an interesting one. Rob, would you start CEH or Miles Sanders standard scoring league? Not sure it matters for either of these guys, but
I'm going. Look, it's not personal. I know it's not. It's nothing personal. It's just I don't get why people are still enamored with CEH when he's shown what he is, which is just Miles Sanders has a great matchup with Detroit. He's still the lead runner. I'll take a chance on Sanders ripping off a run or scoring a touchdown.
I mean, okay, maybe, but Miles Sanders did retweet this from Mike Mayer. Miles Sanders has no injury designation and is expected to receive his usual workload of 0 touchdowns on Sunday. And Miles Sanders retweeted it. Yeah, I'm playing CEH. I don't care. I know the knocks against CEH, but that game should be high scoring. I feel like Miles Sanders might get like 10 touches. Like Boston Scott will get goal line work. Kenneth Gainwell will catch the passes. Like they just don't like Miles. Like I can't.
I do like Gainwell.
All the excuses, all the arguments against CEH you can make against Miles Sanders, except at least the Chiefs will, give CEH some chance to score. He may not score, but he'll get like at least a chance or two. So I go CEH.
All right. Pick your poison, I guess. Either way.
Yeah, pick your poison. Now let's see. So again, trying to find questions. We haven't really talked about these guys a lot. A lot of the let's see. Scrolling down here a little bit. Okay, we kind of talked about these guys, but Dylan, Renfrow over Duvernay?
You can start anyone over Duvernay at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, look, he might technically be the number 2 wide receiver in Baltimore. He's not going to be the number 2 target. Like, he might be 4th at best. So,
a lot of the same players here.
All right, let me throw this out. This one I think is interesting.
All
Tunyon
right.
or Fant?
I go Tunyon. I'm just not really on Fant this year, personally.
Yeah, I'm going to go Tunyon. I'll see that maybe he does benefit from Lazard being out. We'll see.
And he always has touchdown upside.
Right.
All right, here we go. Savage Hitman. This is a savage question. MVS or Gerald Everett in his flex?
Ooh, man. As a flex, I mean, I don't mind Everett as a tight end, but I don't know if I would flex him over a guy. I mean, with MVS, look, it either gets this one huge play downfield or he does nothing, right? That's kind of it. So maybe he makes that huge play down the field. I don't like MVS in general as a fantasy play, but at least you get some upside, as far as a touchdown. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I don't have MVS anywhere, but if I did have to make this choice, I'm starting MVS because at least with MVS, maybe it's one long touchdown. Gerald Everett, what you're hoping for Gerald Everett is he gets 4 or 5 catches or that he gets one target in the end zone. That's really all you're going to get with him. That's it. So I'll take a chance on MVS. All right, let's see. All right, we got a trade question. We like trade questions. Here we go. Is this a good trade? NFL fantasy guru. We should be asking you. All right, this is a good trade. Barkley for Travis Etienne and Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
I'd rather have Barkley. I think Barkley could be due for a huge season. Etienne, I think he might be fine as an RB2, but I don't see a breakout season for him. And I've said enough about CEH. So give me Barkley.
Yeah, give me Barkley too. I do like Travis Etienne a lot, and I do think CEH has potential this year. But Barkley, I think, can absolutely smash and have like a top 5 or better type of season. So I would go Barkley there as well. Not sure. I never when people always say player for this player. to me, that reads like you traded Barkley and got those guys, but then sometimes people say like, "Oh no, I'm getting Barkley," so I never know what
Right.
people mean by that. So I just say the side I like. I like the Barkley side. I like the Barkley side. Okay, this is an interesting one. Our first Dubs question. I'm going to Dubs. Tooney, I like that. Tooney. Tony or Robert Woods. Who do we start between these guys?
I was gonna say, is that Tooney or is it Mooney or is it Tony?
I'm assuming Tony.
I'm assuming Tony. Yeah, not Mooney. If it's Mooney, I would start Mooney. Tony. This is tough. Look, okay. Do we just roll with Dobbs and see if he's the guy? Well, I wouldn't, but Lazard is not going to play. Maybe he's the guy.
I mean, maybe, but Christian Watson's back now. I mean, Sammy Watkins was kind of the guy when Aaron Rodgers did play. I think this is one time where I go Robert Woods, and I hate it. I just hate it. Maybe I don't. This is like, see, I have none of these guys on my team, so I never have to make this decision. But man,
yeah, the thing is, Dobbs gives so much Marquez Callaway vibes, right? It's like he's the guy who rocked in the preseason and then is just going to do nothing. So Robert Woods is probably the play here.
Yeah. Juju, right? We did that. Who's the doofus named Danny? What's up, Big Lenny? Big Lenny, let the people know. How much of a role is Rachaad White going to have, and what are you weighing exactly? Don't lie, Big Lenny. What are you weighing right now? What are you weighing? We need to know. Let's see. Again, trying to find questions about. Okay, here we go. Shane Green, interesting question. Stevenson or McKissick as his RB2, or he could pick up Hines or my boy Rachaad White.
Well, okay, so you're saying as your RB2 or pick up, meaning to start this week. Look, we love Rachaad White, but would you start Rachaad White this week? Probably not.
Not if I don't have to.
No. And then Stevenson is pretty solid. This week, as your RB2, it goes Stevenson.
Yeah, Stevenson as your RB2. I would personally drop McKissick for Rachaad White. I don't.
Right. Not to start this week, but to have on your bench.
I'd rather have Rachaad White on my bench because
right.
I think we could see him down the stretch either take over or he's a Leonard Fournette injury away from being a monster.
All right. And then thank you for the shout out, Jay Duvall. Appreciate it. I mean, it's true. You're in here. Obviously, you don't hate it, so that means you like it. So hit the like button.
Yes. Hit the like button. Okay, back to the questions here. Oh, yeah. Here we go. How about this one? Javon, does a healthy Michael Thomas finish top 20 this season?
Well, that's a trick question because he's already not healthy.
Yeah.
There is no healthy Michael Thomas. He's questionable for week 1.
With a hamstring, too.
No, I'm just going no. It's a hard no for me. He's not going to be healthy. He's got competition now. He doesn't have Drew Brees. No, he's not top 20 for me. And then this related question this week, Michael Thomas or Juju. This is where I say Juju.
Yeah, Juju. Definitely Juju. I can't trust Michael Thomas yet. At least keep him a week. Let me see the snap count. Let me see that he's like out there and involved. And then I'll trust him. All right, we got another trade question from Shane. This is a big boy trade. Should I trade T. Higgins for Swift? So he's trading Higgins and getting Swift because he's saying I'll still have Hollywood, Cook, Christian Kirk, Dotson, London, and Hopkins stashed.
But who are your running backs? Like you're obviously getting Swift because you're maybe in need of a running back. Look, in a vacuum, Higgins for Swift, yeah. I mean, Swift had a higher ADP for a reason. He could be a breakout running back. You're taking on more risk, not going to lie, right? Swift is not a safe player in Higgins. But look, I think you'll be okay at wide receiver if you need a RB1. Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, and you do have Hopkins coming back. So down the road, you could be looking at, Hollywood, Cooks, and Hopkins is your wide receiver 3, assuming you play 3. I know a lot of leagues play 2 wide receivers as well. So if you're in like a 2 wide receiver league, I'm fine rolling Hollywood and Cooks out every week as my wide receivers, no problem. So I think I do that.
Not a trade question, but a waiver wire question. No. No. I mean, fries sound really good right now, honestly. But
Actually, fries and a Coke sound delicious. I might do that. No. But here's the thing. I don't want to spoil it, but I'm going to talk about Akers on our panic video. The problem with having Cam Akers right now is you can't do anything. You can't drop him because if he ends up somehow getting better throughout the season, or if Darrell Henderson gets hurt and they have to play him, you're going to wish you never dropped him. You can't trade him because all you're going to get is fries and a Coke right now. No one's going to trade for Cam Akers right now. So you just have to put him on your bench and just hope things get better. That's all you can do right now, unfortunately. That's all you can do with him. So,
yep.
Yeah. The fries and a Coke do sound really good. Like McDonald's Coke with those salty fries, we got something really good.
All right, stop it. Look, it's almost dinner time here, by the way. I think we're having pizza tonight.
All right, let's see. Again, I'm looking for questions. I'm skipping over some questions because I want to talk about guys that we haven't talked about yet. Okay, so here's Nico Collins. Okay, Jordan saying start Nico Collins. I'm assuming Breece Hall or Green. Is that AJ Green at the flex?
It's probably AJ Green. Haven't had an AJ Green question. AJ Green, sneaky start, you think, because of all the injuries in Arizona? Maybe, but does he move the needle for you?
No, I gotta go Breece Hall.
Yeah. For me, Collins and Green are kind of the same. Not that they're the same player in any way. Obviously, the big age difference, but you're going to be mostly touchdown dependent. They could get some chunk plays, but there's also a lot of risk there. I feel okay about Breece Hall enough that I would start him.
And then we kind of talked about these two guys, but not together. Hall or Kareem Hunt in PPR.
I really hope rest of the season this isn't easy, Breece Hall, but this week I think I got to go Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, I think this week I'd probably go Kareem Hunt. I like Kareem Hunt. I think people are way too low on Kareem Hunt. Like they forget how good he really is.
Okay, we have another super chat here. Thank you guys. Just AC guy or AAC guy. Flex, Amari Cooper, Edmonds, or Cook or Cooks? We need clarification. Are you talking? Hopefully not James Cook, Dalvin Cook, or Brandon Cooks?
I'm gonna have to assume Cook. If it's Dalvin Cook, the answer is Dalvin Cook. You start Dalvin Cook. If it's Brandon Cooks, I think I still start Brandon Cooks out of this guy.
Okay, he said, he did clarify Brandon Cooks. I think it's still Cooks.
Yeah,
I think it is Cooks. Brandon Cooks should get a ton of targets. We're worried about Cooper. Edmonds, he's fine, but just not as high of a ceiling. So go Brandon Cooks. And then Mike Amdahl, no question attached just yet. Mike, if you have a question, let us know. If not, then thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. And another Breece Hall one and Tony Pollard, who we've talked about, but not together like this. And it's half-point PPR. Who do we like better this week? Breece Hall or Tony Pollard in half PPR?
I'm going to go Pollard. And I'm not buying into the whole Michael Carter is, the lifeblood of our offense and whatever. But I do still think we see Michael Carter at first. And Breece Hall, I think he doesn't touch the ball maybe as much as Pollard. I think this is the last week maybe that happens. But for now, I think Pollard is in a good spot because they need him, right? They're going to rely on him.
Yeah.
I kind
of want to say Hall here only because of the half-point PPR. Because Zeke, whatever little bit they do run the ball is going to mostly be Zeke. Whereas Breece Hall, I do think will get a decent amount of carries and some receptions. So Pollard might have a little more upside because, again, he will probably have more receptions and he can always break one off.
Right.
It's close for me in half-point PPR. And then this one, I just want to say, no, definitely. I like Nico Collins, but definitely I think you got to play Dameon Pierce over Nico Collins, right?
Oh, yeah. Definitely Pierce this week.
Yeah. We did that one. Let's see.
It's tough, too. By the way, it's week one. You really have to kind of separate draft value from start sit value, and that'll of course change as the year goes on. But right now we're all stuck with, I drafted this guy in the 4th round. I drafted this guy in the 10th round. And you're like,
yeah,
it doesn't matter in week 1, right? Because this is the matchups determine a lot, right? So you really have to get out of that mindset, even though you might have drafted Breece Hall in round 4 and you might have drafted Pollard in round 6 or 7. Pollard is probably in a better spot to be productive for me this week. Next week, that might go out the window. Maybe Michael Gallup comes back, right? Maybe there's just a much better matchup for somebody else. So, you know what I mean? We'll see what happens. We don't really know what Breece Hall is going to do this week as far as, how the touch share is going to go for the Jets. We'll find out.
Yes, we will. All right. Talk about these guys. They're not together. Dameon Pierce and Miles Sanders in full PPR.
It's Pierce.
Yeah, definitely.
Mostly full PPR.
2 of your guys here, Waddle or Renfro this week from Ryan.
Yeah, it's Waddle. I mean, Renfro's fine, but Waddle definitely has more upside.
Yeah, definitely Waddle. We did that one. Let's see. We did that one. We did that one.
Wow. Here's a tough one. Tough meaning tough that you have to start one of these guys. McKissick or Lockett at the flex.
The problem is it's the Jaguars, and but the thing is, I think this could be a sneaky game where Washington loses.
Really?
Look, Washington's offense is going to be terrible. Carson Wentz is terrible. I know you are not buying into the Jaguars' offense, but I kind of am. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be great. I think the offense will be much better than people think. Doug Peterson is a good offensive head coach. But it's not the type of game where McKissick's going to get 10 targets, right? It's not that type of game.
Shouldn't be.
But man, Tyler Lockett with Geno Smith against Denver, I'd probably go Lockett, I guess. But man, I could see both these guys being horrible this week.
Yeah, I don't see. Look, McKissick is the guy who'll benefit when they need him, meaning they need him because they're down. They're going to be throwing a lot. I don't really expect that to happen, so I don't really expect a ton of targets from McKissick. So I would take a chance on Lockett.
All right, here we go. This is going to test you. Albert, Michael Thomas or Christian Kirk?
Give me Christian Kirk.
I agree. Give me Christian Kirk. Give me that big play upside. Let me see Michael Thomas in week 1. Let me see how much he plays, how healthy he actually looks.
Yep.
Let's see. Okay. Again, a lot of the same questions or a lot of the same guys. Okay, here we go. Quarterback question from O'Neill. Trey Lance or Aaron Rodgers?
I have Lance higher. Look, Rodgers, we already had concerns about the receiving core, and now Lazard, who's supposed to be the number 1 guy, is not even playing. Minnesota's defense isn't great, but it should be a little better than last year. And Rodgers, let's remember, last year in week 1 with Devontae Adams and everybody and all that, he sucked in week 1 last year. He wasn't fully ready for the season. I don't see him putting up a huge performance this week. So I'll take a chance on Lance with a cupcake matchup.
Yeah, me too. In one of my leagues, I drafted Trey Lance. I didn't draft Aaron. I could have drafted Aaron Rodgers, but I drafted Trey Lance. So I got Lance. Give me that rushing upside. All right. Okay. Well, if we're saying Lance over Rodgers, we're definitely saying Mahomes over Rodgers, right?
Yeah, Mahomes easily.
Okay, here's more of a closer quarterback question for this week. Cameron, Lamar or Patrick Mahomes?
I have Lamar, honestly, as my QB1 overall this week. I think he just shreds the Jets.
Yeah, I like Lamar a lot this year. J.K. Dobbins, even if he plays, is going to be so limited on a snap count. Mike Davis is a guy. think Lamar could run for over 100 yards against the Jets.
Yep.
So I'll go with Lamar as well. Let's see.
All right, we haven't had a Russ Wilson question. This is a tough one.
Okay.
I don't know how you have both these quarterbacks, but he's asking Russell Wilson or Kyler Murray.
This week, Russell Wilson for me.
Yeah.
I know he's saying all the right things in the media. I love Seattle. Oh, it was my home for so long. It was so great. But he's going to go out there and destroy Seattle. He's going to destroy them. Russell Wilson
And Murray down, no Rondale Moore. Zach Ertz is questionable. Of course, Hopkins not playing. So, yeah, can't really love Kyler Murray. Okay, we definitely need to get this one. Big shout out Mike M. Dog. I think he would said something earlier. $20. Thank you for the super chat. We definitely appreciate that. So here we go. Hurting in the running back area. Man, it's too early to be hurting there. Okay, so you got Patterson, Breece Hall, Akers. Okay. Tony Pollard. Available is Gainwell, Algier, Hilliard, Drake, Hubbard. Meh. Okay, also working on. Okay, so this seems like this is a waiver wire question. So he's asking, are any of those guys worth adding?
Probably not over what you have. Like I said with Akers, you just got to hold them. I'm not really high on Patterson, but I'm also not really high on any of those guys on the waiver wire. So I'd probably just hold him and see how he's used this week. If he doesn't get used much at all, then you could drop him maybe for Gainwell. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let me just say, I personally have zero interest in like Kenyon Drake or Hubbard, Hilliard, Algier. Probably not. Didn't make much of an impression. Gainwell could be usable, but would I drop Patterson for him? Not right now. Like if Patterson loses his job, maybe you can do that. But right now, no. As far as wide receiver, I think he's saying Pickens. Is he saying Pickens is on the waiver wire? Like he could pick him up?
I mean, if Pickens is on the waiver wire, and I think he's also saying, I think he says Olave, but I think he means Olave. If those guys are on the waiver wire, I'm grabbing them for sure.
Right. Now, we don't know who your receivers are that you would drop, so it depends. Don't just drop anybody. But I think I would be interested probably in Olave first and then Pickens. Not Chenault. Forget the Giants.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would say – now, when you say any Green Bay receiver, I don't know if that means Lazard too. But
I mean, if Lazard's on waivers, I'm grabbing him because, yeah, he's hurt right now, but –
right.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers was wearing a T-shirt the other day that said, like, Rodgers, Lazard – something 2023.
2020, yeah.
I mean, it sounds like Lazard's his guy when he's on the field.
Yeah.
Which has been a problem for Lazard, but it's already a problem. But still, on your bench, worth having.
Yeah, so if Lazard is out there, add him. If he's not, I would go Olave or Pickens, probably in that order for me. But, of course, depends.
All right, this is a must question. Mike Jackson or Prince, full PPR? I assume we're only going to talk about the music side and not maybe the personal side.
Just music, just discography. It's look. There's only one king of pop. It's got to be MJ.
Yeah, it's Michael Jackson for me too.
And then this isn't even a question or anything at all, but I have to shout out the name 5% tent so you can see up in my window. Clearly a Slim Thug reference. Love that. So there you go. Go from Michael Jackson to Mike Jones.
There you go. All right, let's see here. Still scrolling through. All right. Not really start sit, but a general question from Bus. How do we like Swift versus the Eagles? I can't bench Swift.
No. I mean, you can't bench Swift. And not because, I spend whatever draft pick. No. But he's the RB1. He should be fine. It's not a good matchup. It's not a great offense. But, yeah, he's going to – if anything, he could benefit from the fact that if they're losing by a lot, which I expect, guess who the leading receiver is going to be? It's going to be dump off to Swift.
Actually, we saw that last year. It would be like 3 quarters of Swift doing nothing. And then in the fourth quarter, when they're down like 3 scores, Swift catches like 6 passes and scores a touchdown and blows up. Because Jared Goff, we saw that. Go every time. Jared Goff will just check it down over and over. It's like, hey, we need 3 scores. Cool. Let me just dump it off to Swift for 7 yards at a time instead of throwing it down the field. That's what Dolphins do. Yeah.
And that's why we think Swift could be a breakout running back. It's not because he's going to run for 2,000 yards. It's not because he's going to score, 15 touchdowns. It's not because he's a running back in a good offense. It's because he legitimately could lead all running backs in receptions this year. And that is super valuable. A little less, obviously, in non-PPR. But, yeah. All right, we do have now a bunch of super chats coming in, guys. Appreciate it. So let's get to Josh Christensen. There's Bateman again. So you got Bateman, Montgomery, Lockett, Hawkinson, or Tony for the flex spot. If that's just one flex spot, that's a no-brainer. It's Bateman, right?
Yeah, no-brainer Bateman.
Okay, so here's for you. Would you drop Nyheim Hines for Rachaad White?
Yes, Nyheim Hines is one of, I don't get why people are so excited about Nyheim Hines. He's not even if Jonathan Taylor gets hurt, they're not just going to give Nyheim Hines Jonathan Taylor's workload. He's not built for that. They're going to sign a veteran, bring in some veterans like what we saw with Baltimore last year or something like that. It's not just going to be Nyheim Hines. Yes, Nyheim Hines might give you more value week to week right now than Rachaad White, but Rachaad White's already number 2. He's already left Keyshawn Vaughn and Gio Bernard. He's a pass catcher. He could start to take on a role that is just as big as Nyheim Hines' role in the passing game in a better, well, maybe not a better offense, but probably a better offense. And if Leonard Fournette goes down, he absolutely will inherit those carries. So, yes, Rachaad White, definitely grab him.
Yeah, I would do that too. And then Elliot Boat, love the channel content. We appreciate that. Should you play Freiermuth or Njoku? The twist, because I have Najee as well.
What twist?
Well, that actually just makes it easier. Not that it really matters, but yeah, I think for both of us, it's Njoku.
Like Njoku a lot. I really feel like Njoku is going to be a tight end that, at least until Deshaun Watson comes back, you can probably ride almost every single week because he's going to at least have a decent weekly target share.
We'll talk about this. The tight ends who are valuable in fantasy, it's either because they score lots of touchdowns or because they have a high target share. And usually they have a high target share either because they're elite tight ends or because there aren't very many good wide receivers on that team to throw to. And that's kind of the situation in Cleveland. Plus, you have a quarterback who likes to throw the tight end just because it's easier. And then we have our guy, Tyler Foley, always on the show, active. All right, Tyler, for sports betting, Raiders or Chargers? Okay, go ahead.
Well, if you ask Stephen A. Smith, the Chargers will score more points, but the Raiders will win. So I guess you got to bet on the Raiders. I'm going to go with Chargers. If we're just talking about winning the game, I'm going to go with Chargers because I just think the Chargers are better. I think they're better.
I don't know, honestly, what the current spread is for that game.
Yeah,
guessing Chargers. I take the Chargers. I mean, they're the better team. I like the Raiders this year overall. I think they'll make the playoffs again. I think they're solid, but yeah, I got to go Chargers. And then we have Alexander Leon. 1 flex, 1 RB2. Take your pick.
Dylan and Sutton. Easy for me.
Definitely Sutton.
Dylan's your RB2, Sutton is your flex.
Definitely Sutton. At RB, it's a little closer, but yeah, go Dylan. I mean, out of your boom picks, that's 2 out of your 3, right?
Yes. All right, let's see.
So appreciate the super chats, guys. Just so you know, we're going to start picking up the pace. If you do want your question to get answered for sure, you can super chat. We'll do as much as we can here, but let's go ahead and do kind of the lightning round. So,
all right, we got a tight end question from Carlos Gasecki or Alberto.
I'll go Alberto, honestly, because not that I love Alberto, but Gasecki, we know, not going to get too many targets. Not a good matchup for tight ends specifically. New England is really good at defending the tight end. Alberto, I'll give him a shot.
Yeah, it sounds like Gasecki is going to be used more inline, more as a blocker. Not good for him. All right, we haven't gotten a Mike Williams question yet. So Lilish asks, flex, Mike Williams, Elijah Mitchell, Elijah Moore, or Dameon Pierce?
And you got to pick one of those? That's pretty tough. I'm going to, I guess we'll assume it's PPR. Man, it's either Elijah Moore or Mike Williams for me. It's hard to bench Mike Williams, right? Like, it's just hard to bench him. I really like Elijah Moore this week, though. That's what's tough for me because usually I would go Williams. Yeah, I think it still has to be Williams.
Yeah, just Williams to me. I love Elijah Moore. Love Elijah Moore. Man, can't bench Mike Williams. He has 30 points in him on any given week, and I just don't think Elijah Moore has 30 points in him.
Right.
So, all right, here's my. I know where you're going to go here. Waddle or Etienne?
It's Waddle. It's Waddle. I mean, come on.
This is. I really want to say Etienne. I mean, maybe in full PPR I get a slight edge to Waddle, but it's really close for me. This one's going to be tough. Amar, Zeke or Michael Carter?
I'm going to go Zeke. Look, if we think Hall is worth starting, that means we think Carter's not worth starting. Zeke could always get in the end zone. They're still going to give him more touches. I go Zeke.
Yeah, probably got to go Zeke over Carter. Sadly. All right, another tight end, another Gesicki one. Gesicki or Cameron Brate?
I mean, Brate's like touchdown or bust, right? But what's Gesicki then? I mean, really, what is Gesicki at this point?
A blocking tight end who doesn't know how to block and should.
I don't know. I think I have Gesicki still ranked higher, so I guess
at least with Brady, he has a chance to score a touchdown. Like, yeah, I gotta go Brady.
But here's the thing: Dolphins, they'll use the tight end in the red zone. So Gesicki does still have some touchdown upside. I know I just finished saying it's a bad matchup with the Patriots, but Braid is just so. Although I don't know. I mean, Godwin is not there, and maybe you do go Braid. I guess if Godwin doesn't play, I go Braid.
And then we haven't got these guys yet. Tyler Boyd or Robbie Anderson in your flex?
No, I'm forgetting Robbie Anderson exists, right? Yeah. He's not going to get targeted. I'd play Rashard Higgins over Robbie Anderson, honestly. So Tyler Boyd, easy.
How about this one? Dubs or Juju at flex?
It's got to be Juju. I don't love Juju, but I'm not getting burned twice. I got fooled by the Marquez Callaway thing last year. I'm not going to get burned by Dobbs.
No.
Tyler, another one. Super chat. Drop Allen Robinson. No, don't do it.
Don't drop Allen Robinson. You got, Atlanta next week. If he doesn't get it done against Atlanta next week, I know some people are like, well, AJ Terrell. And yeah, Terrell is really good. But I don't think Terrell's going to shadow Allen Robinson. If he can't get it done against Atlanta next week, if it's still bad, then we can start talking about what to do with Allen Robinson. But right now, don't trade him or don't drop him. Don't do anything crazy.
Well, that's the thing. It wasn't just Allen Robinson who looked bad. Everybody in the Rams looked bad this week. Not last week. It was 2 days ago. The whole Rams offense, Matthew Stafford, you're going to overreact to week one. Oh, drop Matthew Stafford. He's trash. He looked like trash, right? Everybody other than Cooper Kupp, right? So, no, you can't overreact. That was against maybe the best defense in the NFL. So,
don't drop him. Bench him next week if you're worried, but don't drop him. Let's see.
You want another tight end question?
Sure, go for it.
If Kittle doesn't play, which is very possible, who do you start? Komet, Henry, Everett, Tunyon, Irv Smith, and Njoku. Okay, a lot of options.
Maybe I'm too high on Njoku, but it's Njoku for me. I'm only in two leagues two non-dynasty leagues where you have to start a tight end because we don't play with tight ends in England. But in one of them, I got Kyle Pitts, so obviously I'm starting him. And the other one, we just waited. We didn't even draft a tight end because we drafted like 2 weeks ago, so it's like don't even bother. And we just picked up Njoku. So I'm really high on Njoku.
You know what? Rest of the season, out of all those guys, I like Komet the best. But this week, 49ers defense, which is also tough against tight ends and bad weather and all that, I would go Njoku first. Everett would be the second choice.
And then here's an interesting quarterback one. Kind of the same guys. Well, not the same guys, but like second-year guys. Lance or Fields, week one and rest of the season. Who do we like?
It's Lance and Lance.
Yes, Lance and Lance. Definitely Lance and Lance. Definitely Lance this week going against the Bears. Not Fields going against the Niners. But I also like Lance more long term. All right, I've got a trade question. PPR from Kevin. Should I trade Mike Evans and Damian Harris for Pittman and CEH? Ooh, interesting.
No, I don't do that. I'd rather have that. Personally, I'd rather have Damian Harris than CEH. And then Mike Evans and Pittman, they might kind of be the same guy. I mean, they're very similar. So I don't think there's really an upgrade there either. And, I mean, this is kind of a lateral move. I don't think this really does much, but I prefer Damian Harris to CEH. That's me, but you might feel different.
Yeah, I do it because of that. I like Evans and Pittman a lot. To me, that's not like a big upgrade downgrade. Like I said, it's pretty lateral. But I'm worried about Damian Harris down. Like, I like Damian Harris right now. I think he's still the guy. But I could see that changing over the course of the season and Stevenson becoming more of the guy, and we see less and less and less of Damian Harris. I'm not worried about Pacheco or McKinnon or Ronald Jones taking work from CEH. Maybe CEH won't be very good just because he's CEH and that's just how he is. But I don't think, like, I feel like down the stretch, Damian Harris might lose a lot of value if Ramondre really takes over. Remember, they're not tied to Damian Harris past this year. So that's kind of what's pushing me to say yes. Because it's like, okay, I don't lose anything at wide receiver. I may not gain anything at running back. I may not, but I may. So I'll gamble on maybe I would gain something like that. But I'm with you. It's pretty lateral. It's not like this trade doesn't really move the needle for me a bunch. All right, this is going to test you. Devonta Smith or Jalen Waddle this week?
I mean, I see coming off injury, but look, he practiced yesterday and he's not on the report, so don't worry about that.
Yeah.
But Devonta Smith against the Lions, yeah, I'll take Devonta Smith.
Yeah, me too. And then, I mean, this seems like a no-brainer to me, but chicken or ribs?
I don't care how the chicken is. It's ribs all day.
Ribs every time. Come on.
All day. Here we got a super chat from Mike again. All right, Mike. So he needs to know flexing Patterson, Cooper, Olave, or Breece Hall.
I'm flexing Breece Hall out of that group.
Yeah, Patterson, no, I have no interest. And it's a tough Saints defense. Cooper, we're down on him. Olave is interesting, but if I'm trusting a rookie, is it going to be the receiver or the running back? It's going to be the running back. And it has nothing to do with Michael Thomas, guaranteed. Nothing to do with Michael Thomas. But Olave is going to be a little more dependent on that deep ball. Yeah, so I'll go Breece Hall.
And then Bus has a question for you. In full PPR, do you play Tua or Bryce Young?
That's an easy one. I'm going with Tua. Look, just wait. I said this early. I bought myself a few pairs of running shoes for all the victory laps I'm going to be doing at the end of the season for Tua. Just you wait. I'm not even going to speak on it anymore. Just going to let the result.
Could barely beat Texas today.
Yeah, exactly. They should have if yours wasn't hurt, right? You know.
And not only that, did I see that wrong? Where Texas missed a field goal at the end of the half that was like they had like a field goal at the end of the half and it was from like the 2-yard line and the kicker missed it or something, and they only lost by that last second field goal. So
yeah, it was last second. But no, I didn't see that game. I was busy watching the Hurricanes beat Southern Miss. So
there you go. What do you think? Like just a couple more here?
Yeah, a couple more to wrap this up. By the way, guys, thank you, first of all, everyone who's been with us. Last chance, if you want to get your question answered, recommend you do that super chat so we see it pop up. We have a ton of questions here. We're trying to get through them all as much as possible, guarantee it. Trying to get answers to different questions. We got a lot of the same questions about the same guys. Understandable. If you are a patron, we'll see you tomorrow morning. If you're not, consider that. That way you get a lot more time with us. We'll answer all your questions. But we're going to wrap it up in about 4.5 minutes. So let's do as many as we can. Super lightning round. Which means
super lightning round. Let's go this tight end one from Angie with the Bulldog in the picture. Love it. Tunyon or Ertz? Assuming Ertz plays.
It's tough because what we heard about Ertz is that something about being limited, even if he does play. I mean, if he suits up, do you trust him enough to put him in your lineup? Tunyon, honestly, this week, I would probably just play it safe and roll with Tunyon because I do think Lazard being out helps him.
Yeah, I agree. It's weird to say play it safe with a guy coming off ACL, but really worried about Ertz. AJ Green with Ertz hurt or Russell Gage?
Gage. We both like Gage.
Yeah, definitely Gage. Deontay Johnson or Ayuk? I don't think we've gotten these two guys. We've gotten both of them separately, but I don't think we've gotten them together like this. Deontay Johnson or Ayuk?
I mean, are you at all worried about Deontay? You know, some people, his shoulder injury, kind of limited him. No?
He's full. He said he's fine. It's lots of wide receivers play with shoulders. They play with shoulder girdles. I'm not worried about that at all. Not worried about that at all.
Yeah. Just still go with Deontay.
Yeah, still go with Deontay. I agree. All right, let's see.
There's an interesting trade one with Ayuk. Would you trade Devontae Smith for Ayuk?
I think I'd prefer Devonta Smith.
Yeah, I mean, it could be Ayuk breakout season. We've heard a lot of hype about him, but I feel much better about Devontae Smith's role in that offense, and I feel better about Jalen Hurts and Trey Lance. So I'd rather have Devontae.
And I think we're going to see the Eagles throw more this year than last year because they have weapons now, and they trust Jalen Hurts more. So we're going to see him open up that offense a bit more. Here's a good QB one. Cousins or Carr QB this week?
I love Carr this year. Got him as top 10 quarterback. I think this week he'll be fine. J.C. Jackson not playing. I don't think he's playing. And so that makes me worry less. I know that Chargers defense will be better, but I like Carr.
I did see J.C. Jackson questionable. But I know he hasn't really been doing a lot, so he could be out. But I do think that's going to probably be a high-scoring shootout game. I like Cousins a lot too, but I think I like Carr just a tiny bit more. Very close to those two guys.
And I'm glad you said that too. Think about it. Who's going to be in a better chance to have a high scoring game where they're going to have to go back and forth and pass it more? Probably Chargers Raiders versus Cousins. I don't really feel great about the Green Bay offense. I don't think Cousins will need to throw it 40 plus times necessarily. And then Tyler, once again, thank you, Tyler. I was active on our start sit shows. If Ertz and Kittle both don't play, do I go for Hooper, Everett, or Tunyon?
Now Hooper is a guy nobody's really talking about, but I think he could be a guy. They don't really have anybody else, a lot of guys there, right, to throw to. I think he could be one of those tight ends that people are like, oh, yeah, I forgot about him. But I think out of that group, I go Tunyon and hope for the touchdown. Yeah, Everett and Hooper probably have safer floors, but I don't know.
I had some interest in Hooper, during training camp and draft season, but now Treylon Burks is healthy. He's going to be out there. Robert Woods is going to be out there. Westbrook Akine, Kyle Phillips is a guy I kind of like. I think Kyle Phillips is interesting to me as a slot guy. I think he's going to steal some of those targets I thought initially would go to Hooper. So I'm a little bit down on Hooper compared to where I was. I would go Tunyon this week.
Hope for that touchdown.
And then Gary, thank you, Gary. Flex, Kittle, Pollard, or Woods, or Tannehill.
I mean, if you can flex Tannehill, does that mean it's super flex? And if that's the case, you flex Tannehill, especially over those guys. But if not, not Kittle, because even if Kittle plays, I'm really worried. I don't think I can play Kittle this week. That injury went from really serious to it was the best I felt. I don't know if we're going to see a lot of him. So if it's not super flex and you can't flex Tannehill, then I go Pollard. But if you can flex Tannehill, I go Tannehill.
Right. What do you say?
Okay. Then we got an interesting flex question here. It must be in one of the end game leagues because you can flex a tight end. You don't have to start one. Dallas Goedert or Melvin Gordon in the flex?
Now that's an interesting question. That's a good one. All right, Melvin Gordon, what is he going to do? Look, he's still going to be involved. He's got a good matchup. We just heard, and again, you take this for what it's worth, right? That they're going to go with a hot hand approach. I don't know if you believe that, but I think Melvin Gordon is not toast. He's there for a reason. I think Melvin Gordon is interesting in this matchup. So I go Melvin Gordon.
Well, pencil me into the camp that thinks Melvin Gordon is toast, and pencil me into the camp that thinks if they really do go a hot hand thing, that's really bad for Melvin Gordon because it's going to be Javonte. He's going to be the one with the hot hand. So
I guess that's true.
I'm going to go with Dallas Goedert. I like Dallas Goedert a lot. It's the Lions. I'm going to go with him. I'm just really, really worried that Melvin Gordon is going to be not Akers level like snaps, but going to have a really reduced workload. So I like Goddard in this matchup. I'm going to go ahead. Not very often I'm going to pick a tight end, but in this case, I will.
I could just use that as an excuse to throw a shot at Akers. It has nothing to do with Rams or Achilles or anything. That was just like a cheap shot.
No, I'm just trying to say, like, I don't think he's going to be like just a pure backup like Akers was, but I think he's going to be like a low snap count stuff. All right. And then here's an interesting tight end one: standard scoring, Muth or Hunter Henry.
You got to go Henry. You know, he's their preferred red zone target. So, I mean, that's one thing he did last year. He scored a few touchdowns. So I'll go Henry.
Yeah, and standard scoring, you're chasing those touchdowns. I mean, Muth can get a touchdown too, but he's got a lot more competition for a touchdown. So, here we go. Soldier of silence: Julio Jones or Brandon Ayuk?
It's Ayuk. I mean, look, show me, Julio. Show me that you are still capable of making it through a full game.
Yes, and getting open, and yeah, exactly. Let's see. How much time we got here? So I can find another one.
Say 2-minute warning.
2-minute warning. Okay, let's find some good ones here for the last 2 minutes.
Oh, here's a good one. We have not heard Kyle Pitts because you usually wouldn't worry about starting Kyle Pitts, but at the flex, you can either flex Kyle Pitts or AJ Dillon.
Look, I told you I'm only in 2 tight end leagues that aren't Dynasty, and I drafted Kyle Pitts in one of them. But if I could choose, I'm choosing AJ Dillon because give me the guy who's going to get more touches, more goal line work.
Yeah, I didn't think that's the way you would go. That's interesting. I thought you were.
I like Kyle Pitts, but he's still a tight end. Like Kyle Pitts could average 13 points per game this year, and people are going to be like, Kyle Pitts was awesome because 13 points per game for a tight end is awesome. But give me the running back. Give me AJ.
It's that touchdown upside. I'm going to go with Pitts. London is not even 100%. Like who else are they going to throw to? Really, I really think Pitts is one of the target leaders this week, like among all players. So.
How come I can't think of who are the Falcons playing this week? Why can't I think about it?
Saints.
Okay, tough defense, really good defense. Marcus Mariota. No. Give me Dell. Love Pitts, but I can't do that. A little much. Let's see. Again, trying to look for ones we haven't talked about too much. A lot of IU questions, too.
Here's one. We haven't talked about Gibson at all. I'm actually shocked nobody had asked about Antonio Gibson until just now.
That's
all
true.
Right, so you got to start 2, Gibson, Penny, or Travis Etienne.
I mean, I know Gibson is the Jaguars. I don't think Rivera trusts him. I just don't. I do not think. I think he's going to find a way to not give him touches. I don't know who else is going to get him. That's the thing that makes me want to lean his way. But I mean, definitely Travis over both of those guys. And then I think I'm going to chase the volume with Penny in a bad matchup.
Yeah. Agree. Etienne is the number 1 guy there for me, and then Penny. Gibson, look, he puts the ball on the ground, he's gone. Like, you won't see him the rest of the game. He could score a touchdown, but so could Penny. So, yeah, I'd go there. Let me just take care of this one. Should you take a risk and play JK? No. Just no.
I don't care. I don't care if he's playing. I don't care if they name him the starter, which really just means he plays the first snap. He's going to be on a snap count if he even plays. There's no way he's close to 100% yet. No, don't play.
St. Brown or Mooney?
Definitely Mooney.
Mooney, for sure. Definitely. Etienne or Pierce?
Definitely Etienne.
It's closer for me. It's closer. I go Etienne, but barely.
Sutton or Etienne, even though I love Etienne, definitely Sutton this week.
Yeah. That should have a huge game. Should have a huge season. I'd be very if you drafted Cortland Sutton, you should be very excited to see how he does in week 1.
Okay, this is an interesting one. Should I stash Isaiah Likely with Mark Andrews? I'm not a fan of tight end handcuffing.
I don't think that's a thing.
So,
I'm pretty sure that's not a thing.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. Because think about it. Like, okay, if Mark Andrews goes down, first of all, you're hosed because you just lost Mark Andrews. It's like, okay, cool. I have Isaiah Likely, but Isaiah Likely is gonna be what? Maybe 50 to 60% of Mark Andrews, maybe 70. Like, he's not going to be Mark Andrews. He's not going to be Mark Andrews. He's a rookie tight end. I'd rather just grab some other tight end on the waiver wire or try to get him if Mark Andrews gets hurt. I'm not going to put him on my bench in case Mark Andrews gets hurt.
Yeah, and it's hard to say, should you? I mean, what other tight ends are on the waiver wire? It might be somebody with more upside, like you said. And, would you drop someone for him? How deep is your league? If it's a really deep 14 or bigger team league, maybe, but no, you don't need to do that. Don't feel like you have to handcuff Andrews. So.
Yeah.
And then let's see. Let's do one more. Wait,
one more. You got a good one?
Well, did we go? I don't think we did. This is Tyler. Tyler often with the super chat, so it's hard to tell we already got to this. I don't think so. Bateman or Edmonds at flex? Bateman for sure. Don't mind Edmonds this week, but Bateman has huge upside. Even in half PPR, yeah, I think you go with Bateman.
Yeah. You got one or no? I have a QB one here.
Yeah, go for it.
And then we have one more. We have one more question at the end. Lance or Dak?
Man, I mean, I would say Lance because of the matchup, but I mean, in the weather, maybe that does make a difference. Maybe that, and I'm worried about Dak this season. You know that, or I've talked about this, but Dak could wind up throwing the ball a ton this week, right? So I'm gonna very hesitantly say Dak.
Yeah, I think I'm the same. I think I slightly lean Dak this week. We saw like I've been talking about it. They're not gonna run the ball 30 times or 20. Not even close. You can't. No team does that against the Bucs. No team, unless they're like maybe the Patriots who can't do anything else but run the ball. So yeah, I'm gonna go Dak. And then the last question, maybe the most important question of all for the entire season. Other than beer and hot wings, what are we grubbing on for week 1 of football?
I always feel like you have to have chips in the mix. I'm a chip guy. Something crunchy there, salty. What else?
I mean, call me white or traditionalist, or I don't know, but I love pizza with my football. I love pizza. I'll pizza all the time. I definitely could go pizza for football.
Yeah, so I'm having pizza tonight, so I probably won't have pizza tomorrow. Look, I'm in Texas. Big fan of queso, cheese, any kind of cheese cubes, but also some queso. And I mean real queso. I don't mean the Velveeta. All right, I'm not talking about that. I mean actual queso with real cheese. That's cheese and chips and queso.
All right, there you
go. Oh wait, look. Let me hold on. I got to throw these on there. First of all, the most important question: Tua and the answer is Tua. Who is it? Oh, Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, Tua. And then this is our first comment, I think, from.
Oh, there we go.
Velma. We even know Velma. Velma S. Thank you.
Thank you,
my dear wife. Studs. I agree. Yes.
Somebody did call us old heads in the comment. I was like, ooh, I'm an old head now. That hurts.
We are.
But I am an old head, but man, it still hurts to hear, right? It always hurts to hear.
All right, guys. This is week 1 edition of our start sit. Look, we could do this all day and all night, but not really because we do have other things to do. I got to set my lineups for about 20 fantasy leagues that I'm in for tomorrow, and we got to get ready for tomorrow morning. If you are a patron and you join us, thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. If you're not, you want more information, check the description below on how to become a patron. Join the Discord. We already talked about that, but do it. If you haven't liked or subscribed, do it now. You still have time. And what else, Chris?
I don't want to forget, we also will be live again tomorrow at, I guess it's 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 my time, 6:30 your time.
That's
We'll
right.
do so after the Sunday, the afternoon games or the evening games. For some of you may still be going, but we'll do like a quick 1 hour in between the Sunday night game, kind of like a reaction. Help you if you have like some more decisions, like okay, I'm losing. Do I start this guy on Monday night or Sunday night? We can help you with that type of stuff. Just chat about the games a little bit, and then we'll also be live again Tuesday evening. I don't know if you've quite come up with the time. Help you with like waiver wires, trades, maybe more. Sit for your Thursday night. So definitely want to subscribe so you get notified for all those, and of course all our awesome videos all week as well.
That's right. Been talking up. We're going to give you even more content this year, and that includes more live shows. We're doing for the first time ever Sunday night instant reaction. So basically, you can get on and vent about all the guys who did you wrong, just like we did on Thursday night, and then you can talk about the guys that you picked, your guys who helped you win. And then, of course, we always get questions, right? Especially in the Discord, we get questions about that Sunday night game, that Monday night game. Who do I put in there? I'm down 20. What do I do? We're going to try to help you out. So just like we do here, we're going to be live just for a short time before that Sunday night game. So join us then. And like you just said, for Waiver Wire on Tuesday. So guys, you hit subscribe, especially if you hit that notification bell, you'll always know when we jump on live and you can join us. All right. So, and it looks like, God, I had to mention this. We're at 16,000 subscribers now. It's hard to believe. Before this year started, where were we at? We weren't even at 10,000. It's growing.
We were at like 12. I think we started week 1 at like just over 12. So yeah, it's been an awesome first week, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate all of you. And if you're not part of this subscribers yet, get in there.
Get in there. All right, patrons. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Or else, good luck this week. Hopefully, we help you get that first W.